And I will pray in the language of heaven, because Chukwukika is in control of all that we have been doing.
Good evening and good night, great Biafrans and
and will continue to do until Biafra is restored,
the auspices of radio.
And all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic.
We are here live and direct. Today is the 20th. I welcome each and every one of you. Even your enemies, will not deny them listening.
Iwe nyanye ndo alakere nduwe no botin keta. Ani we na se na eja mani no so ni ra han sori.
Gospel
onye obuna ni akikiri no badara aka ya.
Not flagging the
ani we na akpokuri na se na nkoma mani ga kele gi nkojo mani kele gi. Ani we na achaye m.
Biafra is there.
We na to we na asopro gi. Ni si umugiri na bundi kunni we do ku maporo ha.
Noses.
Ka ha we chekwa ala nso go Biafra onye na Chineke ni kwara anyị nkwa. No make attack can do no way where I answer Biafra na Chineke na. Agba na atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Mande na agba bụ ebe niile dị iche iche na Chineke. Ihe na bụ nke ndị dị etu anọ bọchị nke. Anyị wee na-etori. Wee na-asị onye nwanyị na Chineke na nke kwuru m ihe. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na eme. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi.
You can see it's black people just they are accompanying the others, they are followers of others in everything.
Hello, thank you very much for joining us on Radio Biafra this morning.
Therefore,
so I say good morning, good afternoon, and good night, depending on where you are joining us.
First of all, today
is the 26th day, the 22nd day of August. 2024, and the time now is 10 minutes past the hour of 5 in the holy and blessed land of Biafra.
Hindrance.
Therefore, it is time for sunrise on Radio Biafra London. My name is Mazi, and it is an absolute pleasure to be with you here every morning from 5 to 7 a.m. Biafra time. Our religion is Biafra, and it is here on Radio Biafra that
we must be proud.
This is where we conscientize ourselves.
To do this job.
This is where we motivate ourselves.
As you can see,
you can join us on FM radio at 102.1 FM from your radio.
CHQ 102.1 in many parts of Biafra land.
We are streaming live on
frequency
satellite.
Modulation.
We are also streaming live on various apps such as Radio Biafra and IPOB Community Radio.
There are other places.
Radio Biafra and IPOB Community Radio are apps where you can find us live right now.
Ebony.
We are
Ebony Radio.
Also streaming live on our website, ipob.org. and radiobiafra.co,
radio
ipob.org, and Radio Biafra.
Therefore, you have no excuse not to listen to this.
So there is absolutely no reason why you cannot
receive Radio Biafra.
There is absolutely no reason why you cannot be part of this program.
We are there live and direct.
Morning.
You can also
there
go to
absolutely
our
no reason why you cannot share this program this morning. And this very lovely morning, we'll be having a conversation like always. We will be having a conversation like always, and I want to reiterate that the stand of IPOB is on the unconditional release of Mazi, the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra. And thousands of Biafrans that are held illegally by Nigerian government. IPOB is calling for a stop to the abduction of our people.
Our PayPal section.
IPOB is calling for a stop to the killing of our people, as Nigeria government is currently engaged in. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been in the DSS dungeon since June 19. He was abducted from Kenya on June 19, 2021.
There is no problem.
And he was tortured in Kenya for 8 days.
If you want your name to be shouted
before he was brought into Nigeria. And since then, he has been in the DSS dungeon
if you also
undergoing torture of different kinds. They have refused his lawyers access to him.
Please.
They have refused him medical treatment. They have subjected him to all manner of unlawful treatment.
Biafrans, we are Biafran.
This is as several courts in Nigeria and out of Nigeria have ruled on his behalf that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any crime. Nigerian courts discharged and acquitted him of all the frivolous charges that are levied against him by the Nigerian government.
We are not doing it because we want to benefit.
Yes, this same government have refused to release him in accordance with the law. The zoo government has disregarded both local and international laws. They disregarded both local and international laws when they went to Kenya and abducted him without due process. They disregarded local and international laws whilst they have kept him there in the DSS dungeon, even against court instruction that he must be released.
As an Igbo person,
they have publicly acknowledged their antagonistic approach to justice.
You know that person.
They have done so, and
go and check.
Today they have
where the real
people in the Justice Department who have completely destroyed the department that they are chairing
from our misery.
Completely destroyed it. So now the question, with a lot of insecurity happening, the question is, how do you expect Nigeria not to be a country that is ravaged by insecurity when the government themselves are directly sponsoring insecurity?
The war has never changed. I mean, the war have not stopped.
Recently, the government created a department.
We are deceived into accepting that the war has
department in order to help them fund
I played the other day.
In order to sponsor terrorist herdsmen,
he used Igbo
that they call Mietiala.
And
so how do you expect Nigeria not to have insecurity when the government itself is killing and harvesting the organs of the people without any remorse?
From this mess we are in, the highest
without any remorse,
render selfless.
Surely you must have expected kidnapping to be rampant,
magnitude,
especially after the government abducted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, which is clearly a signal to every Tom and Dick in Nigeria that the borders are now open for kidnapping. That
but
Nigeria itself is open for kidnapping, and since then,
achieve our
even those in authorities in different security departments in Nigeria,
we look back,
they have made it clear that it is now killing season. They are killing business. That is what Nigerians are into. The criminals, sponsored by their government, killing business. So,
are you hearing me?
You must have expected kidnapping to be alright.
So, it is not easy to render a helpless service. It is not easy to volunteer for something you know you might lose your life. Look at what is going on in the Arab world, in the Middle East. People sacrifice their lives for their future generations. I urge you to sometimes monitor the mindset of these people, these Arabs, these people at the receiving end. Just with neutrality, monitor and learn from their mindset. You see that they are doing something, they believe in what they are doing. It's not because they are going to gain immediately. No. But because they don't want their future generations to suffer. That is why they can sacrifice their lives. Can you be able to do that? That is why they earn respect everywhere. Respect is earned. It is not out of crying. They are killing us. You don't love us. Try to love us. No. We shouldn't be looking for who to love us. No. I say, forget about love. In this world, there is nothing like loving a people. No. You earn your respect. You impose your respect, dignity. And that is what IPOB is championing. The restoration of Biafra is the restoration of our dignity. Because in Nigeria, we have no dignity at all. In Nigeria, we are being, we are being disdained. In Nigeria, we have no future. Nigeria is just our cemetery. Britain concocted Nigeria and programmed it to be so that we will be, tripod, a country founded on tripod, as they say. There is no, just put stud, cut the leg of one, and everything, the equilibrium is offsetted. Is offsetted. Nothing goes on. That is what Nigeria is. So, do not mind those politicians, those Igbo politicians that think that they have reached, that they go to their, their apex. No, and no. What we are doing is sacred. This is what we call holy service for the benefit of our children coming, future generations coming. Therefore, we must continue in doing what we are doing, not to be deterred. Not to be deterred in any way. Are you hearing me? So, we must continue preaching this gospel, because the restoration of Biafra starts with the restoration, starts with the restoration of our mental states. That is the reality of it. So that we start reasoning in different ways. Therefore, today I'm going to speak mostly about saying no to criminality, because we are seeing that Nigeria government, they are trying to use criminality to overshadow. I've preached this the other day, but I want to still continue on it. They are trying to use criminality to overshadow our overall quest, our genuine quest for self-determination. That is the plan on ground. That is what Nigeria is doing. That is what, in a struggle like this, I used to say it. It is not out of, let us water. No, it is not only that. Everything must be combined in a very sensible way. Because if you don't take time, your enemies will use that thing you think you are doing. They will activate their own. Let me ask you, because, let me tell you, or remind you, because you have to be understanding something from the modus operandi of the Nigerian government. Look at during protests, when people are protesting, I'm talking about Nigerians today. Now, when people come out to genuinely protest, as in a democratic setting, they have genuine concern, genuine agitation to protest against one government policy or the other. You know what the Nigerian government used to do? They will activate their thugs, arm them, to go inside the midst of those protesters, infiltrate them, and start looting. They will, if they see people's shop, they will break it, and people will gather and start looting. They will now forget their genuine protest and demand, and they will start looting. The thing now, Nigerian police, Nigerian military now will use it. They will video it and use it as an excuse in order to shoot at them, to disperse them, kill them. They say these are not genuine protesters. These are just hooligans. They call them hoodlums. These are hoodlums. Do you get something from what I said now? And a Jewish from the way Nigeria is acting during their protest, you should understand what Nigeria is up to. in this our struggle. They will breed some people, promote them, and now be using them directly and indirectly in order to cause confusion. I will come to this because they raise criminalities in our land. They want to achieve some goal to overshadow what we are doing. I said it the other day. This is what the current president of Syria, this is what he did. And that is why he's still in power. He defeated the West with this method. And, I explained it vividly the other day. In 2011, when the Arab Spring, we are gaining ground everywhere in the Arab world. President of Syria, President Assad, he's an enemy of America. You know that America, they are coming for him. They will use that opportunity and remove him from power and do a vengeance on him. So when the order of that revolution, people started protesting genuinely that we want freedom in Syria. We want change. It's genuine. And Assad knew it. He knew that if he allowed these people to be genuinely protesting without violence, he don't have any excuse in order to go all out war on them. What did he do? He allowed the prison breaks all over Syria. What I'm telling you is intelligent work. Oh yeah, intelligent work. For people that does not understand, when things are happening, prisons are being broken, they say, no, why are you doing that? No, please go. He said, leave them, let them run, let them go. Because he know that they are going to hijack that genuine struggle to their Islamic fundamentalism way, which will now load the whole world with the West. Politics, Politics, they can minimize. It's when you know when you understand some certain things. I look at it and say, no, there are things that are happening. For a country to progress, to succeed, to remain a country, you need to play good politics. Not only even power, power. You have to be powerful militarily, yes. But there are things you need to be doing. Intelligent work. You need to activate some things. President Assad did that. And now the people came out from prison and they had to call Islamic terrorists. They came out. People that love death more than life. Nothing in this world matters to them unless they are Wahhabi Islamic or Islamism. That is what matters to them. So they started leading protests and demonstrations, hijacking it, being too active. Being too active in the protest against al-Assad. The president of Syria. Yes, al-Assad. People we are seeing him now, people we are seeing him then, the genuine protesters, we are seeing them as, oh, these are good. No, they are leading their water. They are hardcore. They want this. They want to fight this regime to overthrow it. They want our freedom. They gave way for them to start leading everything. And that was the highest mistake they did. And that was what the president wanted. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now, they started deviating their genuine struggle for genuine democracy, genuine freedom. They started, these Islamists that came out from prison all over Syria, they started deviating, started preaching to the people, converting them that everything now is Allah, is Islam. People that were protesting for genuine secular freedom. They now converted everything to Islamism. And people followed, many followed. Now they engulfed, they covered the real agitators. They carried arms and started talking about ISIS establishing Islamic Caliphate. They started fighting under Islamic Caliphate. As you see, they now become highly murderous, very cruel and brutal. If you once they gain the little, they gain the little opportunity with the people. They gain the little majority with the people. They started brutalizing the same people. They started putting different, sinister laws that you shouldn't shave. You go to war. People, if you shave, they outlawed music. Started fighting Syria president. Now, Syria president now has to use it as a propaganda to show to the world that, look, these people are not genuine. They are not fighting for freedom. They are just Islamic terrorists that are gathering here, trying to remove me. He presents himself as a secular, and he's a secular, secular president that is there to guarantee the rights of both Christians, Muslims, Druze, Hindu, everybody. But these people now, they want to hijack. They come to remove me. If they remove me from power, finish. Syria, no more. Everybody must convert to Islam. Do you see? And not even their moderate Islam. No, you must be a Wahhabist. So he started selling that propaganda, which is also real to the world. America has no more option than that was the time of Obama. Obama has no more option because he tried to use these people also to remove Assad, but no way. Now the world opinion turned against these people. They now rallied, the world in general rallied behind President Al-Assad. Say, oh boy, stay there. The world opinion forced Obama to take action against the people that he wanted to use against the president of Syria. Do you see how things work? Very sophisticated. Very, very sophisticated. That is exactly what Nigeria is doing. Here on Radio Biafra, we alert you for you to shine your eyes. For you to shine your eyes. People that need water. Now, Nigerian government rose some people and encouraged them, even indirectly and directly finance them, in order to be doing things, answering IPOB, killing our own people even, kidnapping. Kidnapping in our land in the name of ESN. What they are doing is to criminalize ESN, criminalize IPOB, so that anywhere IPOB knocks, rings the bell or knocks in their door in the international community, they say, your file is already our file. This criminal file will be there already with them. They will tell IPOB now, you people are criminals, please, we don't want to see you. Well, they will show you heinous crimes committed even against our own people by the impostors answering, the criminals answering IESN. That is, here we reveal everything. I know so that so that you understand where you are stepping your foot. That is why we say all this. We expose all this because we have no need to lie or to hide things. This is what Nigerian government is doing. Because they know that some of our people like, let action, action or what. Now there is the rest people that will give them action. brutalizing our people, killing our people. They call people and say we are ESN, and now otherwise we come and burn your shop. We do receive all these reports from even victims or would be victims all the time. These are not ESN. These people are criminals being funded by a criminal in another place. Some of them are, Nigerian government is funding them through him. They want them to rise up more as if they are doing Biafra. Do you ask yourself, why are they using ESN? They continue using ESN IPOB name in our land. Why? Because they are heading somewhere. Their handlers told them, do not use any other name. Don't use that you are Biafran in exile, because it will separate us completely from them. But they continue answering ESN on the ground, say we are ESN. They do video, say we are ESN. Don't you know that there is something sinister? There is something at the background. Don't you know that? That Nigerian government wants to achieve. Don't you know that? We should be wise, though. I used to say it. Before IPOB, I used to think that Igbo people are very wise. But this struggle has made me understand that our people are not sophisticated in politics. Never. Our people are only sophisticated in looking for money. Their individual progress. That is where you will see sophistication and planning and, struggling, hustling from our people. But when it comes to our, collective survival as a people, no. Our people, they don't think, they think straightforward. They think straightforward. And that is why we should, continue following IPOB and the leadership of IPOB now. Because in the temporal absence of our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the DOS is in charge, headed by Mazi Chinedu. There are many things that the DOS is understanding now, both politically, how things work. But you, with your myopic eye, you don't understand it. That is why we need to follow them. If they say stop, you stop. They know why. Don't first ask, why are you telling us stop? No, obey before complain. If they say move, move. Don't ask why, what is it? No, just obey before complain. That's the reason. Nigerian government is trying to play the fast one on us. Very fast one on us. They have tried, they thought that once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was rendition, that is their analysis. They had their security meeting, we are security chiefs. And they say, how do we tackle this issue of Biafra agitation? They say, even Britain, with British analysts, with them, they say, no. We know Igbo people now. they talk, they know how. They say, take out their leader and everything will fall apart. They will start hustling for money. This one will start hustling. The same way they did Owazirike. So they thought that we are so simple like that. That is why they spent a lot of money to rendition Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They spent a lot of money and diplomatic efforts to achieve what they did. If a Nigerian top high-ranking official that helped in planning all this, if any of them later on explain to you what it took them to make that decision and to get the go-ahead order from the CIA, from the Mossad, and the collaborations they needed from the CIA, from Mossad, from M16, from different foreign intelligence services to rendition our leader, you will not believe it. You say, and that is reality. They spent these resources believing that once they renditioned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that the agitation is gone. And immediately they activated their sleeper cells, answering IPOB in America mostly, because they abound. You know, they used to warn IPOB about many Igbo people in America, mostly in America and UK, that there people are, that is where the breeding ground for saboteurs of Biafra struggle. They alerted the IPOB right from this leadership for many times. What I'm telling you, I'm saying it on air. It doesn't mean that there are not genuine IPOBs in all these countries. No, there are. But they say, do you know, your problem comes from this place. Or this place is number one, America. Because you have Igbo people that are, you know, even proud to sabotage their people in the name of working for American government, for American Secret Service. There are people, the American government, they know, the CIA, they know many people in many Biafrans that they have this greed. So they pump it. They know the characters. They know. You can see how can let me say an Igbo American that lived in America, lives in a place that things work, and now he is trying to come to hold a high political office in Nigeria. The aim is not going to do Nigeria better, no, or to do anything better for our people. No. The aim is to go and, not that the person is suffering, no, in America. No, he's wealthy. But the aim is to go and loot his own share in Nigeria. Steal as much as he can steal, because and come back to America, loot and come back to America. It tells you all you need to know. We have the many. We have the many. Not only even in governorship or senatorial district. No. Go down to local government chairman. Many in Igbo land, some in Igbo land, I know some, that are American citizens. It's not that they are coming to do something good. They loot in order to add to what they have gotten. And you say, no. This is not, no. So, this is what the Nigeria government is doing. And I will go into a little bit detail. But before I do that, let me just read some news headlines, please. Just some news headlines. Okay? Because today, as I said, say no to criminality. Nigerian government is using it as a weapon. And it's a deadly weapon. If they use criminality to overshadow our genuine struggle, we are gone. That is what they are trying. That is why whenever they catch criminals, they label them, oh, these are ESN. You think that they are just showing it only for public consumption. No. They are sending videos. They are sending all these videos and photos to every international embassy in Abuja, Lagos, in Nigeria in general. I say all. Every country. You don't know what IPOB is fighting. If you know, you will become loyal to DOS. I am telling you, become heavily loyal. You're not going to offer and continue contributing your own quota. Because what they are fighting is legion. It's a very high sophisticated warfare. It's not a war that only arms can achieve. No, it's highly sophisticated. Highly sophisticated. And Nigeria has unlimited resources. They have limitless resources. Are you hearing me? So, what do? We need to use our resources very carefully. Our brain is the number one resource. Our calculative brains are the first high-level resource we have in order to counter this Goliath with huge amount of resources. That is it. We must continue. So, let me read on some news headlines. There is this news headline, which you know, now this Chinese investors take over another $15 million Nigerian government private jet seized from ex-minister Dan Etete. When you read it, it is today's news headline. How Chinese firm is able to get all these things, access to all these Nigerian properties with ease in France, in Canada, anywhere in the world. Doesn't it surprise you? Does it not surprise you? Now, you see, and I went further. I said, look, you ask yourself, what business did Nigeria do? Do you remember also, a few years back, when Nigeria borrowed money from China, 22.7 million, they exclude to build the railway lines in north and west. They completely excluded, openly, they excluded southeast. They say nothing for you, but they use the resources in our land as collateral. Do you remember that? When we shouted here on Radio Biafra, we continue talking. We continue. They said they are not going. They are going. The whole project, nothing for Southeast. That after this one, they will think out a way in order to get something for Southeast from another source, and that is the end of the story. Our senators that time, under Southeast senators caucus, they came to press and backed cry like little rats as they used to be. I played it here even on Radio Biafra. How many years back? Whether 4 years ago. I played it either 2020, yes, or 2021. I think it's 2020. I played it here on Radio Biafra. How they said, no, now we know that Nigeria is not one. You know, these people, they are funny. Sometimes they behave like children. Yeah, now we know that Nigeria is not one. Do you see? Nigeria is not one. We know how to even impeach Buhari, but we didn't do it because we believe in one Nigeria. And you look at them. The following day, they call them privately and they give them small crumbs. Till today, they don't talk about it again. I don't know, but I believe that this must be some of the debts that they are seizing Nigeria properties. They mortgaged our crude oil from our land. They used it, as collateral to borrow all this money, whereas they are not using it. No, the money, the project is no project about this money in our land. How do you classify us then? You that say, when we talk about marginalization, you see some people say, no, every part of Nigeria is feeling marginalized. No, it's lie from the pit of hell. You are not telling yourself the truth. They seized this aircraft costed $57 million by Dan Etete. He's a Southerner. I don't know Dan Etete. I don't know, is he from Cross River or from which side, please? I don't really, but I know he's a Southerner. I can know. He's a former oil minister, even during Abacha regime and during Goodluck Jonathan time. They humiliated this man. Now, I went further to find out, why is it that the whole people that they are humiliating, mostly in corruption cases, former governors, senators, mostly they are Southerners. They are mostly Biafrans. If not Biafrans, they are Christians. Sanusi Lamido. Sanusi was the central bank governor. Everybody knows that he channeled the money, billions and billions of dollars, to terrorists, which was revealed and different things. Nothing. He finished, nothing happened to him. Don't you ask yourself all this question? Today, they disgraced Emiefele. Don't you know that there is a pattern to all this? This Dan Etete, when you look at his ordeals, yes, he is corrupt. No Nigerian politician is not corrupt. The Northerners, the Fulani oligarchy, they are corruption themselves, for your information. But they are untouchable, even by the British. You hear me? When you look at the list of people, list of former politicians or high-level politicians or present ones that we are being disgraced both nationally and internationally, most of them are either Biafrans and all of them are Christians. You don't see a Fulani person there. Whereas Fulani, they don't steal. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said this, that the Biafran politicians, they steal crumbs. Fulani, they steal they carry the box itself. They steal the house itself. Whereas all these Biafran politicians, because that is where they are level, they go and steal gold and diamond and the money inside the house. But the Fulani, they carry the house itself with everything inside it. But have you seen any of them? Have you seen any of them being convicted? The answer is no. Do you know the reason? They are not untouchable. It's an agreement with Britain. They are trying to send the message. They are sending messages to the world that Nigeria that is not good. The most corrupt are this set of people. You don't know. In Nigeria, you don't know. Everything that is happening has explanations. It has significances. It has significations. But you don't know. You know about it. You don't know. There is this man, Lucky Bunedio. He was a former governor of Edo State. EFCC charged him with 142 counts of corruption, amounting to $24 million. You understand? He had a plea bargain in 2008, yes, but he was disgraced. He's a Edo. Is a Southerner. Lucky Binedium. The other person, another one, is the prayer Alamaseya. Alamaseya. The prayer. I think it's late, yes. He was a former governor. He served the jail. He spent, I think, nearly two years in the UK. Are you hearing me? From 2005. Are you hearing me? They say he skipped bail. He is a Biafran, a Southerner. Another person is James Ibori. James Ibori. You know what happened? He was a former governor of Delta State, convicted of money laundering in a British court. He's a Biafran. Another person, James Bala Ngilari. He's a Christian. From Adamawa State. He's a Christian. Are you hearing me? He was Adamawa State governor for 7 months until 2015. He was convicted of awaiting a contract for the procurement of 25 vehicles at a cost of 167 million naira only, without following due process. He was found guilty of 5 of the 17 charges in 2016 and was sentenced to 5 years with no option in fine. Are you hearing me? But his conviction was short-lived because he was later acquitted and freed by the Court of Appeal. He's a Christian. Okay. Another person is Ojo Zokalo that was crying. He served Nigeria with Ojo Zokalo. Remember how many times he threatened the fire and brimstone against his own people. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. I will bomb Okigwe, Abia. I will bomb the whole bush. I will bomb. His own people. He's an Igbo man. Today you don't hear his voice loud any longer. He's just talking. Is it not what is happening? They destroy your houses in Lagos. Go home now. Oh, no way. Because if you go home, the government criminals or Fulani sponsored criminals are waiting for you. Waiting for us. Is it not what we are passing through? They quietly dismantled the railway lines in the whole of Biafra land. Quietly. But didn't talk about it. No person talk about it. Quietly, and till today it is only IPOB that has been shouting about it. Do you understand? For you to understand that it is a Nigerian government policy, let me read to you this news headline also. Nigerian government asked us to hands off after we conducted autopsies on 35 decomposing bodies found in Anambra River in 2013, ex-Governor Peter Obi said. Let me read a bit. The former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, has stated that the Nigerian government asked his government to hands off when 35 decomposing bodies were found in the Anambra River in 2013. Are you hearing what I'm reading? Abia State Governor Lesoti recently stated that over 80 decomposing corpses, including 20 headless ones, as well as countless skeletons, were discovered by security operatives during a raid in the forest around the Lokbanta Cattle Market in the Omunoche axis of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road. Are you hearing it? Countless skeletons. Countless. It can be thousands, it can be millions. These are our people. Oh, Chineke. And you see, this guy, Ojo Zokalo, that brought these killers in our land. Anytime he come to Igbo, people will start shouting, oh wow, I don't know what they call him in their place. They will start praising him. But he brought death to our land, and he said it that he brought Ruga. He's the first governor to bring Ruga in Igbo land. Now, countless skeletons. and everything die as usual. No responsibility, impunity. Now, Peter Obi now was referring, say, oh, this is what happened to me when I was a governor. I wanted to investigate on the decomposing bodies in the Zoo River. But federal government told me, leave all those things. Which means the federal government is them that did everything. They know everything. Their sponsor is a policy to destroy Igbo lives, to kill Igbo people, make us to be irrelevant even in our own land. But Peter Obi kept it. For the unity of Nigeria, he kept this secret. He didn't come out. If what he's saying is true, he didn't come out on the open and say, I want to investigate on the death of people in Ezu River, which was found. It's very sad. But the federal government said, no, I should hands off. He kept it. That is how selfish they are. And they want to be a president. People are obedient will be in our favor. Is that what you're saying? Do you see what we are suffering? He kept it that, this something of this magnitude. Instead of coming to say this, that defend his people, he said no. Do you remember during the Goodluck regime when Goodluck wanted to really fight Boko Haram? The Kano governor, he rose up, he said, no, stop killing these people, you are killing them. Terrorists is defending openly. But our people cannot do that. And you are telling me that everything is normal? That being a Nigerian as Igbo man is normal? People now is revealing that, I wanted to do something, but federal government tell me to keep quiet. That they know what happened. They use him to do it. And now he's saying the same thing. Now, those headless bodies, those decomposing bodies and countless skeletons, your loved ones might be there. You are not going to see them again. But who are you going to hold responsible? Nobody. It's Nigeria. It's a genocide. Genocide. Government sponsored genocide in our land that is going on every day through different angles. By the military, by the Nigerian police, Nigerian military, every one of them. And you want us to continue being in this state with the complete support of Igbo politicians. Peter Obi is one of them. Because he said it here. That Nigerian federal government say I should keep off. And he kept off. And he kept off. Because he wanted to retain his political office. Peter Obi is one of them. Because he said it here. That Nigerian federal government say I should keep off. And he kept off. And he kept off. Because he wanted to retain his political office. Peter Obi is one of them. Because he said it here. That Nigerian federal government say I should keep off. And he kept off. And he kept off. Because he wanted to retain his political office.
Una well done o. Obodo Naija don carry census bust out o. Oya bring your ear close make we yarn. Anywhere you dey, if na Biafran you be, whenever they wan count census for Nigeria, kukuma come back to Biafra land o. Make them count you in your own land, because during election they killed us in the north and Yoruba land o. Oya bring your ear close make we yarn. Anywhere you dey, if na Biafran you be, whenever they wan count census for Nigeria, kukuma come back to Biafra land o. Make them count you in your own land, because during election they killed us in the north and Yoruba land. And this population census go be another evidence to that effect. All hail Biafra, Biafra will hail you.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. I have some technical perturbations which I try to fix, and I think it's okay because my dashboard is telling me, showing me that it is okay. You know, sometimes all these things do happen nowadays, but we must continue overcoming. Yes, Mazi, yes. So we must continue. We must continue. As I was saying, do not forget that today is the 22nd day of August 2024. I was talking about the pattern of, convictions, arrests and convictions on fraud and money laundering that is being done to top politicians in Nigeria. And you see that all those, the pattern is, mostly they are Biafrans and Christians. Biafrans in particular and the Christians in general. You don't see any Fulani. Never. I talked about Ojo Zokalo. He was one of them. Now, one Joshua Daria. He was a Plateau State. He was the Plateau State governor. You understand? He's a Christian. So when you see all these things, he was, he was convicted. He was arrested in London on 20th January 2004 with large sums of money. He was accused of stealing $9 million of public funds and money laundering. EFCC in 2000, money laundering. EFCC in 2007 profiled 23 counts of money laundering involving alleged diversion of about 1.126 billion naira. Plateau State Governor. An Abuja High Court in 2018 sentenced him to 14 years imprisonment on a charge of criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of funds, 1.6 billion naira, while he was the governor of Plateau State. In 2018, Daria's 14-year sentence was reduced to 10 years. These are to mention but a few. You don't see a Fulani person there. Do you see, what of Ganduje? That camera caught Gandu Dollar. They carry millions of dollars in their $100 bills. Put it. You talk, they don't. That is nothing, because they are above the law. You see, what IPOB is doing is to save the indigenous people, all the indigenous people in Nigeria. But many of them are naive and ignorant. Many of them are naive. You don't see any Haruna Mohammed as a Fulani man. No. Of recent, you see how they have been, perambulating this guy, the former CBN governor, Emefiele. You see how they have been disgracing him, on handcuff, perambulating him as a, not only Igbo man, as a Biafran, as a Southerner, as a Christian, so to say. All others, they are untouchable. Now, in the case of Emefiele, are you telling me that Emefiele acted on his own? If they tell you what the present minister of NNPC's chairman. What is his name again? NNPC chairman. Abak Kiare. Or Mele Kiare, what do they call him? What he's doing. But they are above the law. You don't talk there. Even Britain will cover them. Because Harold Smith, he said that it doesn't matter what Fulani does, that Britain will cover them because they don't disappoint their friends right from time. Right from time, Ahmad Bello. So, they cover them. So, you see, in all these convictions and trials, I'm not covering all these people that they are not criminals, no. But why treating only one set of people? Don't you know that they are sending a message to the world? Don't you know that? You know that indigenous people in Nigeria, generally, they are not sophisticated. I am telling you. Everybody is just scavenging for what he can get, only for him and his family, nothing more. They don't have broader thinking of anything. When you look at the names of people, high-profile politicians serving or that have been convicted or arrested in Europe, mostly in England, are you hearing me? You see that they are Southerners, most of them, Biafrans. Look at Desi and Madeke. So, are you telling me that what? Let me just. There's one news. Let me just read one news, please. One news headline for you to understand what we are on. That when you are talking about restoration of Biafra, exposing the Fulani Caliphate dealings in Nigeria, other indigenous people, they are, I don't know how they think. I don't know. Let me see. There is one news headline I'm checking. There is one news headline. Yes. Okay. Listen to this news. Nigerian Petroleum Company, NNPCL, Nigerian Petroleum Company reports shows 7.4 billion naira spent on entertainment in 2023 amid failure to revive refineries. NNPC, headed by Melekeyari or Abakeyari. But he is still there. You can't do him anything. Britain covers him. They cover him. What are you going to do him? He's above the law, isn't he? He is simply above the law. Imagine that he's a Biafran. Oh, here we broke loose now. Let me read it a bit. A review of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, financial statement has shown that the oil company spent the sum of 7.4 billion naira on entertainment expenses in 2023. The refineries are not working. No. Remember, in NPC, they are paying, Nigerian government are paying billions of naira in salaries and remunerations to workers in refineries that are not working. Till now, as I'm talking to you, till now, they will receive salary this month, and they are even increasing. Increasing salaries and promoting officials in a company, in refineries that are not working. Most of them are Fulanese and Yorubas. You see that? Or do you see the pattern? But it's nothing. Who is going to hold them accountable? The untouchables? You can't hold them untouchable. You can't hold them accountable. Britain will not. They will cover them. Britain will cover it. They will say, leave them. This expenditure is an increase from 7.3 billion naira spent on SEM in 2022. Entertainment. In 2022. Nothing happens to them because they are in charge. And you are telling me that this is a sustainable country? The people are talking about unity, peace. Let's unify Nigeria unity. Where is the unity? Whereas people are not treated the same. How can you get peace and unity in a place where there is no equity and justice? Tell me. Look at Emiefele. They disgrace him. Look at what? Look at what is that man's name? The Fulani man that was arrested for terrorism, sponsoring Boko Haram and ISIS directly. On his way to Mecca, on transit in Egypt. He's a Fulani person. Where is the case today? They did everything in order to make him deported. Nigeria played their highest diplomatic game in order to bring him back to Nigeria. They promised the Egyptian government that they are going to jail him in Nigeria. As they brought him to Abuja, they do a abracadabra showcase that they have arrested him here, that they are charging him, that the Nigerian military or Nigerian government is charging him this and that. After that, 1 day, 2 day, 1 week of media show, finish. Does anybody talk about him today again? What of Abba Kyari that was wanted to be extradited in America for crimes that has, before America can request for your extradition, they have proved they are not Nigerian. When they arrest you, they start looking for evidence. No, they have gotten evidence implicating you. But Nigeria, because he's a Fulani man, Nigeria played their, or a Kanuri man serving the Fulani. Nigeria played their high diplomatic game in order to make sure that they didn't take him there. Imagine it's an Igbo man. Immediately they will fly him direct. I said yesterday, look at Ekweme. Imagine, yes, Ekweme committed crime. Yes. But what I'm saying, imagine he is in the Fulani oligarchy. Before God and man, he cannot be there. I am telling you honestly, he cannot be there. These are the issues that Nigerians are not talking about. These are, there is no politician in Nigeria that is that is a saint. I'm talking not only, but there is no Nigerian that is a saint. There is no politician that is a saint, yes. But why are you targeting a set of people? There are many, there is what they want to portray. They are trying to portray to the world that, look, that these are the set of people that are, when you hear that Nigeria is not good, these are the set of people. Is this tribe. So, is what Britain, this is a game, is intelligent game they are pushing out. But all these fulefus, they don't understand, or they don't want to understand this game because their eyes are, their eyes are closed. They are blind. They don't reason. They don't reason. You see that idiot, one new idiot, I don't know where he come from, how he enter, Benjamin Carlo. Once they, they push them, once they sponsor him as a Fulani stooge, they come out to open their mouth to talk with anyhow, until Obahuhananya later they will start shouting. Ask Joseph Carlo how he cried. Do you see? Why are you exonerating other people, covering them? Whereas you are covering them. Whereas you target a set of people. Anything they do. To the extent Tinubu went to Dubai and started targeting Igbos. Started telling the UAE government that, look, when you hear that Nigerians are committing crimes in Dubai, there is a set of people, is a tribe called Igbos. He said it. IPOB had it. They received the intelligence. They received the intelligence. He said, when you hear people that are answering this, there are some names that are, you cannot, like, they started as Okechukwu, Emeka. These are the people that are committing crimes. So, if you see them, you deal with them. Dubai government, UAE told them, this is your internal politics. Deal with it. You don't put us into your internal politics. Okay? That is what is happening. But our people, many of our people don't know. And they say, oh, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Ndi beribe. IPOB. To know things you don't understand. That's why you have to support what we are doing. They have tried in many ways in order to demonize us, even internationally. To demonize us as a tribe, as Biafrans, internationally. So that if they see you with Nigerian passport, they start checking your name. They ask you your tribe. Once you say you're Igbo, they target you. That is what they want. People don't understand what is facing us in Nigeria. People don't understand it. Nigeria, the hatred against Igbos is real. The hatred against Biafra is real. It's real. When you are seeing all these things, you become disturbed. When you are telling your comrades, your fellow brothers, they don't understand. And they make it, Nigeria, I know, we are in Kaduna, we are in Kano, everything is okay. They don't discriminate. You don't know what is happening. They are using you as a bet. They pretend to treat you well in Kano, so that to lure you for political reasons, so that people, they will be luring you to come, to stay there, and to disown what your people is doing. That is division. You don't know. You see how they are killing our people. You see how they are in all I think is it Owerri? I saw it. They gone Nigerian military. It didn't start today. I played the other one the other day. Nigerian military will be passing if they see youths that are going their normal business. They gun them down. They are reducing our population. Have you ever had where the governor of Imo State talk about it? Have you ever had? The answer is no. How can he protect his people? Now, whereas he is in mission, it is the mission they put him there. That's why that is what is happening. So he don't even have power to even talk. If he talks now, they will come after him. They reveal one thing, he's gone. So he cannot talk. Do you see what we are undergoing in that country called Nigeria? Do you see? Are you with us? Even in River Niger, the other day, let me see that news. In River Niger, they detected let me see. They detected radioactive materials in River Niger. Let me see. Let me scroll whether I can see the news. I omitted talking about it the other day. I omitted it. In River Niger. India. These people, they want us all dead. Yes. Radiation detected in the Niger, one of Africa's largest rivers. Yes. Radiation. Let me see where. In recent study by Nigerian scientists has revealed alarming levels of radioactive contamination and hazardous chemicals in the Niger Delta's coastal areas. Are you with me? Niger Delta, that our oil, when people are divided, when people are selfish, they have foreigners have a heyday. They can come and shit there, do anything. No, who will? You talk, they say, no, Igbo man won't collect our oil. Go, Igbo man, go. Let me read it again. This was day before yesterday, 20th August news headline. Radiation detected in the Niger, one of Africa's largest rivers, researchers say. Let me read it a bit. A recent study by the Nigerian scientists has revealed alarming levels of radioactive contamination and hazardous chemicals in the Niger Delta's coastal areas. Analysis of water and fish samples show that uranium and thorium levels were 4 times higher than the global average, while background gamma radiation was nearly twice the safe limit in the Niger Delta. The worst polluted part of the world is coastal region of Biafra. And you see, when we say, let us unite together to fight this demon that is consuming all of us. This one said, no, he's coming. I started to talk about we come out and say, Igbo ase. This one, you say that these people are mad people everywhere. The Niger, Africa's third longest river after the Nile and Congo, is a vital lifeline for millions of people. Of course it is. Of course. Let me continue. Its vast delta, spanning over 70,000 square kilometers, is a rich tapestry of mangroves, swamps, tropical forests supporting diversity of eco. Yes. A recent study by Nigerian scientists has revealed alarming levels of radioactive contamination and hazardous chemicals in the Niger Delta's coastal areas. Analysis of water and fish samples show that uranium and thorium levels were 4 times higher than the global average, 4 times, while background gamma radiation was nearly twice the safe limit. The research also identified the harmful chemicals, including lead, benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, and xylene in both the water and the fish tissue. These substances, potentially released during oil spills and gas flarings, contribute to the region's air and water pollution. Are you hearing it? Do you know, I've said it here, do you know that the polluted water and ground is a fuel for nuclear power plant of the West? Do you know that? They feed it. From time to time, they will come and say, okay, we are doing clean up. They will carry all those things. Now, it is something that they're supposed to buy billions of dollars, but they carry it free of charge, and you thank them, you pay them. In Niger Delta, and they will use it for nuclear power plants in America, in France, in different parts of Western world. And do you see why that place will continue being like that? Do you see why they are doing what they are doing? Polluting everywhere. And the people are breathing all these things without knowing. That's why people are dying like flies. And the churches are growing. You know, I cannot talk without, because this is the reality facing us. Do churches sponsor scientific research? No. Because if they fund it, which means they will tell you the true story, they will tell you the reality. Now they will no more have customers as members, giving them money. When people become sick of cancer and different diseases that is associated with all these contaminations, they will go to their church. The Jew will tell them that, oh, it's your mother or it's your kinsman that is against you because they don't want your progress. So they want to kill you. And he will be making you until you die. If you die, you don't know that you are dead. Others will thank Jesus that they don't die. It is only you that died. Oh, but within small time, it will catch up with them and they will die. If you die, you don't know. Others will be thanking God. Oh, you made me to be alive, whereas others die. So I thank you. He go and give testimony. The day he will die, he will not know. Others will give testimony too. That is the sorry situation we are in. It is all round. It is a cobweb of issues. Are you hearing me? The contamination of the delta in the coastal part of Biafra land is alarming. 4 times. Quadruple. It's very sad. It is very sad indeed. When you talk about, do you know Nigeria used to use a aeroplane to bomb what they call illegal refinery, something that should be arranged to give youths work. Some modular refineries that should be arranged and now say, okay, come and get license, you pay taxes and arrange it. It will be arranged, but they don't do it. They will not, because oil wells belong to them. Have you seen in a country where oil wells belong to individuals, not the country? It doesn't belong to the country. It belongs to individuals. The individuals, they are reaping billions. All this money, I wonder, where, how, are they Jew? I don't know. Don't eat bellyful people. You come to your account every day. Your account is increasing by millions of dollars every day. Since you acquire all these wells, you enter into Nigerian politics every time. Your London account, your dollar account is increasing every day. Are you not even tired? Are you not? What are you using it for? Sometimes I cannot understand. This is evil. It's more than wickedness. It's evil. People are suffering. I put it on my timeline. When Nigerian minister, I don't know which state is that, he saw some soldiers on checkpoints. He stopped. They were hailing him. He went into his car and brought out cash. He was sharing them. How? I say, which kind of, why are we so unlucky to be in this type of mess? Sometimes I reason it like this. Why are we so, unlucky to be in this type of situation? A minister sharing money, cash to soldiers. Where is it done? In other places, that minister, it's not done, cash, You fight to improve to make policies to improve the life of the soldiers, of the people, and not sharing cash. But the Nigerians understand the answer is no. That is why it's a mess. You don't know how to even start it. Start bringing solution. No. That is why the best thing is what we are doing. To just remove ourselves from there. And they say no. Whereas they demonize us. As somebody said some time ago, oh, you people call Igbos, they are criminals, they are this, they are bad, they are drug dealers, they are this and that. But Allah, they say they are going. Leave them to go and suffer as drug, and you say no. It's no be juju be this. What I'm saying is for us to understand what is in front of us, the reality facing us. That is it. The NNPC, they are there, doing as they want. I could remember when ordinary president was dealing with a case of where they say they found the type of money they found with, I think, Abba Kyari. Is it Abba Kyari? In his account, you cannot pronounce that money, the figure. It's unpronounceable. When he was going, I know that he's stepping on somebody. They order him, they gave him order from above. Stop this program. And he stopped it today. He don't talk about it again. I don't know whether many of you remember this. Where one man reported, they gave him contract from there, they didn't pay him, they duped him, Abakiyari. And after they found out they have some accounts, after investigation, some accounts that belong to him, that the type of money that is there is a type of money that you cannot pronounce. They can buy Nigeria. They are trying to review some things. After they caught them, they say stop. Ordinary president in Abuja, and they stopped still today. But they don't detain them. British intelligence they don't reveal all these things. If it is a Biafran, a Southerner, a non-Fulani, they will, mostly Biafrans, they will reveal in order to give you that a pattern that no, there are people that are destroying Nigeria that are fraudulent. These are the set of people. They are mostly Biafrans. Other people are saints. It's very, very pity. I doubt so. But IPOB will continue. So, as I was saying, say no. Say no to criminality. That is our slogan this evening. Say no to criminality. Let me read one. In Enugu, police arrest 123 suspects, rescue 19 abducted victims, recover 972 arms, ammunition, others. In Enugu. And they showcased it. Let me read a bit. There is a place they call ESN. Okay. Poised to rid the state of all criminal elements, the Enugu State Police Command has disclosed the arrest of 123 suspects for their involvement in different crimes in the state, while also rescuing kidnapped victims and recovering a cache of arms and ammunition. Briefing newsmen in Enugu Thursday, the Commissioner of Police, EP Kanayo Uzebu, said the suspects were arrested for their involvement in cases of murder, kidnapping, armed robbery, and cultism between July and August 2024. Okay, let me jump and read some places. There is a place I want to read. There is a place I want to read. Also in 15th of August, okay. There is a place. Also on August 15, 2024, at about 2 a.m., operational and tactical police operatives of the command raided the camp of the outlawed IPOB ESN renegades at Aniwede Nkubo, Emene Enugu. The subversive criminal elements on sighting the operatives opened fire on them, but the operatives returned the fire at superior levels, neutralizing 2 of them, while others escaped with varying degrees of gunshot wounds. This is lie. This is what Nigerian government is doing. I have explained to you a bit at the beginning. They want to criminalize IPOB. Do you see how they say it? They are the subversive criminal elements. That is how they will push it to the international community. And that's why they are promoting Ekperima. Sad to call his name, but that is the truth. That's why Obasanjo, all of them, they are promoting Ekperima. Because he's doing their bidding. They want to use him as they try to use Butulezi during the ANC freedom fighting against apartheid. Butulezi of Nkata freedom fighters. Have you forgotten? The party, the Butulezi movement, Nkata freedom fighters, is black people. Yes. They are so, so extremists. They want, they want water all the time. But little did they know. Many of the foot soldiers didn't know that they are being used. But the hierarchy knew. They were trained by apartheid government. You understand? Their soldiers were trained by apartheid government. And they will be only. They say, well, we are fighting against apartheid. Killing at random. In order to compromise the genuine fight for freedom of South Africans. That is what Nigeria is doing. They want to compromise IPOB, ESN. Do you see? You see, they have been fighting ESN for so long. No way. Now, let me ask you. These people that call themselves, say they are Ekberima people, they are fighting water. Have you ever seen them fight the Fulani kidnappers, the Fulani terrorists in our land? Let people reason. Because I want to touch you. I want to touch you so that you start reasoning. Have you ever seen them go and pursue Fulani headsmen that are killers, terrorists in our land, or capture them and show them, showcase them? Maybe as I talk, they will arrange something, maybe. But you never see this. What they do, they kidnap our people and collect ransom. Because this is what their leader, the Ekberima, tell them. At the beginning, they deceive them into, they are not paying you. Immediately, they rendition Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian government activated them. They started. People from America started calling. Hey! And as they blocked the money, as Nanya blocked IPOB money, they went into rampage also, talking. Kanunta, all of them. They formed the Omoma. They started talking they tried to deceive some people they know in ESN. You see, you are hungry, aren't you? Don't you see? The DOS. They are bad people. They are working for Nigeria government. They seize your money. They seize the money. And they are China Samori is driving jeep with our head of Directorate of States. Mazi Chike. They are cruising in Abuja self with the hotels everywhere, with their investments everywhere. And they block out. They don't give you money now. Do they feed you? They are blocked. You see, come to us. We will give you. We pay you handsomely. And many, some of them become deceived. Some of them out of gullibility, they don't think twice. An Igbo man, an average Igbo man, not an IPOB family member, an average Igbo man. You get him within now. The other people, they are being paid. They are deceiving you. You are mugu. You are just working for nothing. Others are collecting. That is, an average Igbo man will think twice. Even if he said no, he remove it from, he wave it and say no, he will bet me. He will surely sit down, go to his inner chamber, his room, and start thinking, say, na mugu and one beer be waiting. This is what imbued in ourselves. It takes a person of big will to understand the game. That is why you see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been telling us about propaganda. Can you handle propaganda? Propaganda is more potent than weapon. Propaganda, because propaganda can kill dozens in groups. It can kill multitude. Bomb can kill maybe 10, 20, 100 at a time. Propaganda can deceive and derail millions and deceive a country, a nation. Do you know that? So they started deceiving people. Whereas it is a game plan. They block the money. They block IPOB money. Do you remember when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here with us? Do you remember he pursued everybody, said no person should know anything about money, not any coordinator. That if any coordinator that asks anything about money in his zone, report him. Have you forgotten? So they were acting as an independent, independent body in IPOB, answerable to only Nenayanya. Have you forgotten? I don't know. They say our people are 15 minutes, but it seems they are like Mazi Isaiah said yesterday or the day before yesterday. That is 5 minutes. Have you forgotten? That made even Mazi Chike, he doesn't know anything about money. All the coordinators, they are hearing my voice. No person knew anything about money that is being wrote, anything. That thing held the leadership hostage after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's rendition. And they released propaganda from Kanu family, Kanunta, all of them, with his people, Omuadaka counterparts. They released propaganda, calling our people on ground. You people are suffering. We are. Come on, come to us. Do our bidding. Before you know, they send them $100. Before you know, they start sending them money. They say, hey, now they didn't know that it's a trap. Do you know what is feeding an army? An army of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Do you know what it means? Do you think it's something of one day? You give one day and you stop. After everything, they gave them money for 1 month. No money again now. Because they themselves, they are scavenging. They are looting. They are on the looting spree. Ekperima gathered them. They did different types of contribution of money, fundraising. And after, on everybody. Onye butere nke o butere. Onye bute $100,000, ya bru. Nke bute $20,000, ya bru. And the people on the ground, they deceived, they left them. If they call them, they say, send money now as usual. They say, oh boy, what do you carry for hand? And I'm telling you how they turned these people into criminals after deceiving. Many of them, some of them came back, started begging, say, we are deceived. Why couldn't you have good judgments? Why? Which means you can, in front of war, you can be easily deceived and you turn against your own people. That is what it means. And that is why IPOB does not forgive. Many of them turn out, they are now outright criminals, kidnappers. And they are still using IPOB name, ESN. Because after they are no more receiving money from anybody, Experiment started telling them, hey, do you think that I produce money? What do you have? This is freedom fighting. This is use what you have to get what you want. That is the origin of the criminality that is going on in our land. They say, okay. They started hijacking cars. They started kidnapping of our own people. They started calling people on phone. Now ESN, you have to send us 2 million naira for Mbo, for Ego Granot. Otherwise, we visit you. That is how they do it, because that is what Nigeria did to them. That is the plan of Nigeria. And we tell them, stop using the name of ESN. You are not ESN. You are not IPOB. Answer your own name. If you want to commit criminal activity, no problem. It's not our. But why are you using our names? You see that there is a place they are going. Anytime a Perima wants to relinquish ESN or IPOB, they will tell him, hey, on ground, be telling the people to be using ESN. That is your mission. And that is why they continue using ESN as a name. Do you see that? They want to draw our genuine. They they thought that they will annihilate ESN. To no avail. They tried everything to no avail. So what they are doing now is propaganda, trying to compromise them with criminality, trying to put them, side by side with these criminals that is calling themselves ESN, impostors that are not. Well, this is the plan, and this is the agenda. That is why any slightest thing, some of them, let me tell you, some of them have been members of, some of them we are members of IPOB. Some of them were ESN before being pursued. So at least they will know few people of IPOB. They know IPOB's modus operandi. As they turn rogue, they turn criminals. When they catch them, they will still say, no, we are IPOB. Look at our, they start mentioning names. This is our coordinator. That is what you are seeing. And Nigerian government is recording it. Sometimes Nigerian government tell them, if you confess that you are IPOB, tell our story, now we leave you. And as they are doing all those mandatory confession, written script, Nigerian government is videoing them, recording it. They don't know. They don't know where all those recordings are going. They are going to American embassies. They are going to British embassies, German embassies. They are going to South African embassies, Moroccan embassies. All the whole international communities that has embassies in Nigeria, they are going to them. They don't know. There is a way Nigeria wants to suffocate us. They thought that we don't know, but we know. They want to suffocate us internationally because they have seen that, the head of IPOB, the head is in the diaspora. The heart of IPOB, I should say, is in the diaspora. So they want to suffocate us. So that now, when IPOB is doing meeting all over the world as we used to do, as a freedom fighting self-determination, for self-determination, the government will say, is it not you that we are receiving reports that you are criminals in Nigeria, killing even your own people? That is what they are doing. That is Nkata Nigeria na Akpa. We should know this. So that when you see this Ekperima and his people, they are more dangerous. They are weapons that are more dangerous than even Fulani Caliphate. I am telling you. I am telling you. If they answer their own separate name, there is no problem. Kanunta came and played his own. Now we shall join you game and arrest Kinsley. Fine boy. For kidnapping and all this. When they are doing, they thought that they are doing Mazi Doziem, Mazi China Sanworu. They thought that they are doing the work so that they will take over. They don't know that they are doing themselves. Whatever goes around comes around. They form we know all these things. Going into their camps in different places now, Noru. We know. Manana anya abahona ha. It's a Ekperima that is on the leash. He is now the person that because it's a person that has no job. He was a dupe right from time. He scammed. How can you, somebody that had a history, let me come to that. Somebody that has a history of duping, scamming people, an impostor, telling people that he's a lawyer, whereas he's ordinary translator, that scam our people. If he scam our people that has no paper, they become deported at last. They can't do nothing. Mazi and I have said it several times. Even he has conversed with me several times. Living in Italy. From Italy to Finland. He was scammed by the same Ekperima. How can somebody with a questionable character like this against his own people be the head of this type of movement? How can you trust the person? When he scams you, at the last they will deport you. You can't do nothing. He is there. He has citizenship. He scams innocent people. And now he enter into something he never in his life dream that he will one day be called Onishi. Never in his life. And that is why he said no back or gown. Because he never in his life imagined that he will enter this. an ordinary hustler that was coming people. Don't you sometimes in the Igbo say, are we, is it cause? Maybe by our ancestors, I don't know, because we neglected them. Is it cause that we cannot even join 1 plus 2? We have testimonies of people that he duped. Now it's just a mistake. A mistake. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a human being. He made a mistake of promoting this type of person, which the advice of Finland IPOB was neglected. When this experiment wanted to, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying he have to interview him, he have to come to his platform, there were objections from our family in Finland, but it was neglected. It's a very deadly mistake that we are paying today. What do I used to say? That what we are suffering is our own mistakes. It's not anything God or this and that. It's mistake, miscalculation. Anything you do, any mistake you do, you must suffer it. You must suffer the repercussion. That is what we are doing. And this guy was so desperate. Somebody that is an anti-Biafra movement, anti-Biafra. Somebody that was anti-Biafra to the extent that he don't want to see Biafra flag anywhere. As Igbo chairman in Finland, never. All of a sudden he started doing mago on Facebook until he caught the attention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why before politics is local. Before you do something with somebody, you have to ask the locals, how do you see this person? They will tell you, they are in a better position to tell you everything. That's why I don't blame our family. This thing scattered our family in Finland. We have to say it. It scattered our family in Finland. Many were mad against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Say, why should you do this? You bring somebody that has been fighting us because you saw him on Facebook. You immediately no. But the deed that has been done, and being an opportunist, he captured it. He used to say in his privacy, "Now, Biafra, Biafra. I will give you people Biafra." That is a willing tool. Are you hearing what I'm saying? They want to use criminality to compromise, to diffuse our genuine agitation for self-determination, so that anywhere we knock, the people, the country will say, who are you? IPOB. You people are criminals, even killing your own people. Kidnappers, killing your own people, taking ransom. That is what Nigerian government is doing. Because in a fight like this, anywhere you see opportunity, you enter. Obasanjo said, I used the Igbos to kill Igbos. I used Igbos to fight Igbos. Don't you understand what it means? He used willing tools, Igbos. One time, Mazi Nnamdi came here and also testified how Obasanjo, we are dealing with Igbos, we are using Igbos, Igbo high-ranking officials during the Biafran War. So what else? Why can't you learn from what happened that time and now? Why can't you learn? You need to shun criminality. We need to differentiate between criminality. All these things some of all these agents are doing in our land, using ESN. These are not ESN. You should never associate them with ESN. ESN is sanctified. Let me tell you, one thing they are also trying to achieve is to, blacken the heart of our people, poison the hearts of our communities. Like in the Enugu community, let me tell you why they don't want to. When you see that there is a news about, let me tell you, because all these are interrelated, please. They are interrelated. Enugu community laments. Let me put it. Let me read the news headline. It's a news headline of today. Enugu community laments destruction of crops, farms by herdsmen, seeks government's assistance. You know what? If you read it, you see Fulani herdsmen, kidnappers, killers, terrorists. They invade a community in Enugu, they kidnap some people and destroy the crops. People were crying. You might be asking, where is the ESN? Do you know that some of all these communities, they don't want to use ear to hear ESN in their land? Do you know that? Do you know one of the main reasons? Because these people, they have scattered the name of ESN in their community. They will welcome them thinking that they are ESN. They will start committing crimes, kidnapping people. They say, nah, ESN, now it's them that go and, give report to the military. This is what they want to achieve. Like in Olo, in some communities in Oru today, if you talk about Biafra, they will cut off your head. Why? Because of the activities of all these criminals using ESN and IPOB name. Do you see what they want to achieve? They want to poison the minds of our people, our communities, right from grassroots. So that when they hear ESN, they say, hey, these people that are killing us, kidnapping us, we don't want to see honor. We don't, because they cannot then differentiate the real one and all those criminals. They will take everybody as criminals. When the re-ESN come to help them, they will pursue them. Say, you people kill us even more than Fulani headsmen. We will go to Nigerian military and go Nigerian government. Our re-ESN will run and go. Sometimes you cannot blame the villagers. Because there is, this work is difficult. You see what IPOB is doing is highly difficult. It's when you don't know, you don't know. These people now get made to ESN in our communities, so that the community, anytime they see any person ESN, they will call military. The re-ESN will come to save them. How do you think that this should be resolved? Tell me. That is why we always cry and shout against criminality. That this is not ESN. Every time IPOB leadership is releasing memo, press release about condemning criminality using ESN. You don't understand what it means, because it is destroying. The Nigerian government is trying to use all these things in order to poison the mindset of our people in villages. You don't know, do you? This is why we say no to criminality. If we want to succeed, if we want to advance, any person that is telling you about Ekperima, how he is doing this and that, before God and man, shun that person off. They are some of them, they don't know the type of evil, the type of evil they are committing in our land against IPOB. They don't know what is boomeranging. They don't know. Some of them, they are doing it just to make money. They are no more sending us money now, so we have to use our own way. They will kidnap people, collect ransom. From there, they will kill. They will sell, they'll start making contact for Alhaji to buy human parts. Because one demon brings another. Before you know, once you enter there, it's finished. It becomes your business. It's finished. It's finished. That is what IPOB leadership is fighting internally. But you don't understand it. Do you? These criminals, many of them individually don't understand the type of harm they are causing us as a people with their criminal activities. How it is ricocheting in the international community, in the desks of American embassies, in the desks of countries of the world. They don't know. They are making money hijacking car. When Fine Boy was arrested, detained for almost 3 months. Did he tell you? He came out just quietly, without you knowing that something happened. Charged for armed robbery, kidnapping, ransom collection, All these are charges on him. But he negotiated his way out. They now use him. They now get every information about this movement. And in order to track to destroy. That is what they are. That is the mission they are in. For your information. Those that are using sentiment, Mazi I'm the kind of sibling. These are naked wires that are bent on destruction. Giving DSS, they are working directly with DSS. That is why he's being left. Because it's a deal. Otherwise, do you think that they can leave him? They will just leave him free for all this type of high-level crime. Do you think so? That is what IPOB is suffering. These are what we are suffering. The problem is in us, mostly in us. Because of selfish interests. Because of I want to lead. Is it not what happened during the war? Okpa Biaseka. Okpa Biaseka was made by Gowon to be the governor of East Central State that time. From Lagos. Anywhere our leaders send delegates in abroad. Gowon will send Okpa Biaseka to go there and counter what Biafra leader came to ask or came to say. He will go there and present himself that I'm a Nigerian, I'm an Igbo man, I'm the governor of East Central State. These people, they are the rebels. They are the cause of an Igbo man talking all these things. That is why Gowon said, had it been I knew what I knew concerning Igbos, I wouldn't have spent a lot of money I spent in importing weapons and fighters. I will give them small things to kill themselves. Just very few of them. Is that Gowon policy they are using now? Because once you give this experiment, is for him, he has an opportunity. Which, when you give a poor man, he saw one opportunity. He hung there. He hung there no more because he has nothing again left. If he stopped this, what do you think is he going to be doing? Tell me, what do you think? An opportunity in his lifetime. So he don't care. What matters is that is interest. That is egoism. That is what matters to him. Nothing more. Every other thing is just a deception. You know that? So that is why they are trying. Nigerian government is trying very hard. Everything that is revealed is almost solved. If you are sick and you go to diagnosis and they diagnose you and tell you, oh, this is the problem, this and that, is the problem is half solved. Now you start having remedy. They give you remedy. That is it. You start looking for direct remedy. The medicine. You understand? I think Portuguese they call medicine remedio. That is remedy. That is the medicine. Are you hearing me? So that is it. Why we are revealing all these things is for our people to understand the type of fight. It's not a straightforward fight. The freedom fighting we are in, it's not a straightforward fight. It is not only water, only this, only that. No, it encompasses many things. When you see your enemy going like this, you try to counter it. That is what we are observing. So, for you to understand, know you today that Nigerian government is using these people in order to heighten criminality in our land, to tarnish the image of ESN. One, to international community. Two, to poison our people's mind so that they will say no to ESN anywhere in their villages. That is what they are trying to achieve. So that even the ESN come to save them, they will pursue them, or they will sabotage them and go and report them into the Nigerian military. You hear me? And that is why the Fulani headsmen, the Fulani killers, they are on the rampage in some parts of our land. That is the reality. Because people, they are sick and tired. They don't know ESN. They say ESN. Oh, they allow them. And they call themselves ESN, whereas they are taking ransoms. They are kidnapping people, shooting people, collecting their cars, doing horrible things, heinous crimes. They become disgusted. And now, anything that happened, the ESN come, they say, no, 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 we don't, hey, no be these people that kill us. No, 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 we don't want on. Instead, we want Nigerian government. These are some of the reasons why. When you see some of our people in the coastal area, they say, no, Biafrans kill us. It's repeating itself. Before you know, some of all these people say, no, if na Biafra, me are not there for na Biafra. We know, this community, I beg, count us off with this. If it is how your Biafra will come. Our people should be sophisticated in thinking. Stop taking direct decision. You have to think how enemies come. This is how Nigerian government did during the Biafran war. They would dress with Biafran regalia and go to communities in the coastal region and say, we are Biafrans, they will welcome them. After they start killing them, shooting everybody, pillaging, raping, without knowing that this is, war, you use everything, every capability in war in order to win. Causing division is also a weapon of war. So when they do all these things, they will go. Now in this community, we say, no, oh, Igbo people, now so they be a beg, we are not Biafrans. They will start looking, say we are Nigeria, so they will now welcome Nigeria, and they will harbor them. Do you see? And start sabotage without knowing that it's intelligent job that has been done against them. This is how wars are being fought. You hearing me? To gather the mindset of people and turn them against their own people. That is what is happening. So I think I will stop here so far, so that I will go into a few minutes break, so that when the lines are open, I will open the lines so that people will start calling in. But before I go into a few minutes breaks, I want to read the IPOB press release for today, for you to understand also. Today, 22nd day of August 2024. Before I go on to a few minutes break, please, let me read the press release. Stop associating IPOB and ESN autopilot criminals. IPOB wants Enugu state government. The global family and movement of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, led by the great and indomitable leader Mazi Kano, wish to debunk the fabricated and fallacious news peddled by the Enugu State Governor's media office, where they claim that the Nigerian police neutralized 27 kidnapping gangs of ESN members loyal to the Finland-based Buffon at various locations in Enugu State. The claim is not only false, but also a cheap propaganda against IPOB and ESN. This is what I was saying. That is Nigeria for you. They use it. You tell them, they will still be using it because they know we are. Do you think when a government is doing this thing, do you think they are foolish? Do you think it's hard for them to know that, oh, no, these people are different? They say they are different. But tomorrow they will still say the same thing. Do you think they are stupid? There is where they are hitting. That is why we should be sophisticated in reasoning. According to the report in Sahara Reporters and other media houses in the zoo, the Enugu State Governor's media office claimed that the Nigerian police neutralized 27 criminals and kidnappers within 2 weeks at various locations in the state. The Nigerian police and the Enugu government say that some of the neutralized criminals are pro-Biafra agitators, loyal to the Finland-based double agent. Then, why did they turn around and associate these criminals with the noble IPOB family? Is it hard for them to know that? Call them what they are. They are what they call themselves, government in exile. If they call them that, we don't talk about them. But they still mention IPOB and ESN for you to understand that there is where they are heading to. There is where they are heading to. Then let me continue reading. Then why did they turn around and associate these criminals with the noble IPOB family? In the usual malicious intent of the Nigerian government bodies ways. The police claimed that the so-called neutralized criminals were ESN operatives loyal to autopilot IPOB. For a long time, IPOB has maintained that there is nothing like autopilot in IPOB. More so, the criminal gang leader in Finland has no relationship with ESN from the formation of ESN to date, or with IPOB. The criminals and kidnappers have nothing in common with IPOB, ESN, and the Biafra struggle. The Enugu State Governor, Dr. Peter Mba, and the Nigerian police in Enugu State should stop being maliciously mischievous. They should stop the unnecessary blackmail against IPOB and call the criminals by their name. Already, the criminals captured said where they belong, and it is not with the IPOB's Eastern Security Network. We are warning the Enugu State Governor's Media Office to desist from linking ESN and IPOB to the self-acclaimed autopilot leader, a double agent in Finland, and his criminals in Enugu and anywhere else in Biafra land. All ESN operatives are under the command of the Directorate of State, DOS, of the Indigenous People of Biafra. There are no ESN operatives loyal to the Nigerian government's double agent in Finland. IPOB has no faction nor any affiliates. If not IPOB, it is not IPOB. The group by themselves have stated that they do not belong to IPOB and ESN. Why is the Nigerian government and her model security forces forcing them on IPOB and keep associating them with the IPOB and ESN? ESN operatives don't get involved in any criminal activities. They are disciplined vigilantes who are strictly focused on their mandate of dislodging the Fulani terrorists nicknamed headsmen from destroying our farms and farmlands. Biafrans can testify that ever since the ESN was formed, ESN operatives have never been involved in crimes, nor have they threatened the peace and security of the Biafrans that they vowed to protect. The Nigerian government and her mother security agency should stop blackmailing IPOB and ESN by associating our hallowed ESN with the autopilot gang and their leader, Comrade Ima Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for the Indigenous People of Biafra. That's it. Your ED. Call them by their name. We don't now deal with them as you can. IPOB, we are genuinely for freedom fighting, self-determination under the law, under Nigerian law, under West African law, under the United Nations Charter, under African Union Charter. So why doing this? Because there is where they are heading to. But we have been there before them. We have seen where they are heading to before they think that we know. They have tried everything they could in order to destroy IPOB, in order to dislodge ESN, to no avail. That is why they are using all these backhands. Backhands. If in a table tennis, there is one you hit just like a back, using back bats. You use backhand. That is what they want to achieve. But no way. IPOB has come to stay until Biafra is restored. I used to tell you, the worst thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did is to gather different people from different backgrounds as one family, everywhere around the world. People that can both the good, the bad, the ugly, both the highest intellectual, both the lowest intellectual, both the analysts, both the nahoso, but gather them as one family, and you think that we can easily no, they can penetrate us. No, they are too late. We must get to our destination, and our destination is Biafra. That is it. Checking that. That is it. Nothing more. It doesn't matter what they throw at us. We will absorb it, and we will continue fighting back until victory is assured. I will go on a few minutes break so that when I come back, I will open the lines for people to call. Please do not go away. I'll be right back.
This thing not that good, oh. Lie, lie. I say it not good, oh. Lie, lie. This thing not that good, oh. Lie, lie. No one knows tomorrow. Oh yes. Oh yeah, make una open on our ear. Hear this one. This one now for EEDC. EEDC won't defraud Southeast with exorbitant electricity bill with no adequate power supply. On top the matter be say, they no go give prepaid meter to their customers, but them go give illegal high estimated bills. They no want know if lights day or no day. Instead of them to fix them, they go force people to pay the bills where they no use, or them go cut the lights. I wonder how communities go use contribute money, buy their own power transformer, buy electricity cables, and yet pay huge amount of money to this Obodo Naija corrupt EEDC, but they no go gree connect or bring the lights. Even when they dismantle to repair community transformers wey spoil, they no go repair or return it to the communities. This issue don't tire people o. Anambra State Governor Soludo, he don't pay 100 billion naira to Emeka for an EEDC. This matter they under agreement to provide light to 24 hours light to, but from March 2023 until now, Anambra State still there for darkness. Emeka for don't frustrate other companies wey won't give us light. The cocoa be say EEDC na the reason why Southeast no dey develop. This thing not dey good oh. Lie, lie. I say it no good oh. Lie, lie. This thing not dey good oh. Lie, lie. No one knows tomorrow.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you via Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi, Jonathan Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra land. And we are here live and direct today, the 22nd day of August 2024. Tata Bobo Cheke. Today, as I said, say no to criminality. Say no to criminality. It is another method the Nigerian government is coming in order to undo us. But we are wiser. Our lines are now open. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. You can call us and give us your view on the issue treated. We will never back down. Never. It is impossible. Any person that is thinking that, oh, we are going to back down, you are hallucinating. Remember, as I said, Ebony Radio will be booming in no distant time. Let me put it like that. Ebony FM radio station will be booming. And others too. I don't want to talk, but others also will be booming. Therefore, we must continue in what we are doing. Say no to criminality, because Nigerian government is trying to use criminality in order to cover, to engulf what we are doing. But we are wiser. Are you hearing me? We are wiser. We can never allow criminality to engulf or to cover what we are doing so that they will eradicate it. No. No. I hope my voice is coming out on our community radio. Let me see. Because it has been having problem of late, really. But we must continue what we are doing. So, as I said, our lines are now open. You can call. You know, what we do is we should never be tired of listening to Radio Biafra. For your information, we should never be tired. You know, as a human being, you are not tired of hearing or learning, hearing. You know, hearing words, statements, because that is a. Let me take this call. Sorry, Mazi. Let me take this call. Okay. Mazi, I think Mazi Nadede, you are. I think you are the first caller. Welcome to the program. Mazi, can you hear me?
Yes, Jonathan, I
have
been listening to you. Yes. I guys in the for a long time.
Of course.
But I'm not the reason I'm calling you right now is you mentioned my name when you were speaking. And I told myself, I said, well, what Biafra is going through now, or what Jonathan is going through is doing now, was not listening very well to why I called you earlier on when I gave you information, the biggest information ever that every Biafran would want to refer to. It's not only history, but a tip-off on how to solve our problems. Well, I don't want to. I am sick right now. I'm not feeling too well. I'm an old man. But I'd like you to listen to, just give me time to say this. I'd like you to go back or use it and listen to me right away. The problem we've been going through has been Basanjo. And you mentioned it today that by listening to your analysis, I found that Biafrans are still, they still haven't got a hint, a grip of while Obasanjo and while IPOB is going through all this, everything you said today. First of all, before I begin, I want to give you a hint that the next Ohaneze Igbo, is it Ohaneze? Yes. Ohaneze Igbo, chairman, or whatever you call him, after the death of this guy, only they buried him already. Gawo, okay, let's see where I wrote it down. I want you to write it down, and this is true. Okay, Emuche, the man that was a South African consulate general. I had given you his name more than 3 years ago. He is the now Secretary General for Ohaneze Igbo. Now. And he is the man who is going to be tipped to be the next Ohaneze Igbo. It's not a prophecy. It's a fact that is a truth. So giving you that, I want to also let you know that Biafra had 20 provinces. Ogumegwu created, or Biafran elders created 20 provinces. And these 20 provinces, one of them was Aba province. And the administrator of Aba province was the father of Oke Emuche. And it was the administrator of Aba province that sold Biafra. And the reason I have not been calling and going too far was because I was born in a village 4 miles away from Oke Emuche's father, Dr. Emuche, the owner of, I want you to record this, please write it down, the owner of the hospital in Azumini. I started, once I remember things now, they try to escape my memory, but they never go away. But it's called, forgetting the name of the hospital. You know, you have it in your record if you go online. Azumini is a village in Ndoke. And Dr. Emuche was the owner of that hospital. And Dr. Emuche was the Aba provincial, what you call it, administrator. And so as soon as the war ended, Yakubu Gowon, all these are online. Yakubu Gowon visited Azumini within the first week of the end of the war in 1970. Yakubu Gowon never visited you. Nobody would you wonder, what am I talking about? Yakubu Gowon visited Azumini. And who brought Yakubu Gowon to Azumini? It was Colonel or General Obasanjo. And who was General Obasanjo? General Obasanjo was the division commander that took over from Adekule. And he lived, his headquarters was in Port Harcourt, but he has a 12th Brigade under his division, 3rd Marine Commando. And on that 12th Brigade, the brigade headquarters, the house, the maroon building, story building, is still standing today. Was owned by the Emuches. Dr. Emuche owned the house where Obasanjo spent nights as the brigade headquarters. And that cottage hospital was brigade headquarters. Now, how do I know this? Not only that I was born in Ndoki, just 4 miles away from Ohambele to Azumini. That wouldn't qualify me for knowing it. I knew what I'm telling you now, I say it again, because I was a prisoner of war. I don't want to go exploring. I was captured by 3rd Marine Commando. And I stayed in the prison in 3rd Marine Commando. They took me from their field office to Cottage Hospital. That's the name of the hospital. Please write it down. It's all told online, as a matter of fact. Cottage Hospital. So when I got to Cottage Hospital, I didn't know where I was until after I came out from imprisonment. And I was interviewed by a man. See, my head is going to wash this away now. Lieutenant Albert. You may not hear these words again because I'm old now and I'm sick. A man called Lieutenant Albert was the person that interviewed me. He spoke Igbo. His mother was from Delta State, father from Yoruba. He spoke Igbo as fluently as I spoke and as you speak. So after interviewing me, I used the training I obtained from BOF. I was a BOF officer. At the time I was captured, I was a 46th Battalion lieutenant. I was a 2nd lieutenant. And I manned, I may not call it command, I manned a place they call Central Anang River. I haven't even been there. So something that happened during the Civil War. The Central Anang axis, there's a bridge they call Central Anang River. They call Ntonsek, Ntonsek. Ntonsek. I was the lieutenant commanding. And it was from there that I was not from the front. I was posted back. Well, there's a story about that, to my visitation to BOF headquarters, commanded by an Ohambele area commander. So he's my uncle. And so, I requested, because in the military you can transfer from another unit. I requested from Taribo to retain me and send me on the duty, the kind of duties I was trained in the BOF. I told him I didn't want to continue with the infantry anymore. And he said, okay. He sent a signal. And I was posted. And I was given members, we don't call ourselves troops in the BOF. My comrades, I was a lead comrade to take these people to behind the enemy lines. And while we were on the enemy lines, I had malaria going there that day. It was deep night. So I told my boys to hang on. And I will stay on the track. And I leaned on a rubber tree. And I fell asleep. About 12 Nigerian soldiers walked up to me and kicked me, and I woke up. My savior, of course, BOF never wore uniforms. So many things happened. The one thing I heard was that I was lucky that I was not taken by a unit. It was a B unit, that Nigerian army, that captured me. So they took me to their base, fed me, they liked me, and they put me in a big, huge truck on the next day and drove me to Azumi. I didn't know where they were taking me to. So I almost jumped out of that truck because the people were careless, because I could run. My mind told me no, because if they could also get me, find a way to capture me. They capture me, then kill me. So good enough, I was taken to the headquarters. And that was where I was interrogated. So the news went that an officer of Biafran army was captured, but I did not tell them I was a soldier. But after my interview with Lieutenant Albert, I thought maybe the next step was to kill me. They sent me to a little prison where I met other Igbos, a couple of them. It was a little room, and which I know I'm going there to visit one day, because I've been to Azumini many times from visiting my visitation from United States. And I also went to that hospital to treat my mother. So what am I saying? I'm saying that it was then that I knew, when I came outside, that it was Azumini, my own Ndoki. Then I also found out that of all the Igbos who were in that cell, I was the only one that was released. They gave me a bucket to go and fetch water from Azumini. You heard about Azumini Green River, where Mazi Nandekano told us that it was through which he passed through to the Atlantic Ocean. As he said it, I listened to Mazi Nandekano narrate his Odyssey. So it's not like I'm revealing anything. And so it was there I went and got a bucket, drew water from under that bridge, heading towards Ohambele. So the next thing I remember was that I don't know whether I took a shower I don't know what they gave me. I don't know really. I remember just about everything, but I cannot tell whether I took a shower, how I even got to my village or Hambele. I cannot tell that. I'll be lying if I say so. I could walk from Azumini to Hambele. But the strategic thing in this story is to tell you, gentlemen, why we lost the Civil War. Everyone you are conquered. I've had so much stories. And I told you, there was a time I called you. First of all, I called Mazi Alozie to tell my story. Mazi Alozie was interested. He called me more than 4 times. He was writing my life history. He asked me certain questions that was beyond, if you people read it, it's like, the only thing he didn't ask me was, did I see my mother when she was having birth of me? And nobody sees that. But he asked me too many questions. And so you would wonder, to me, I wanted to hand this story to you guys, or to Mazi Alozie, so he could make a book, not a book, and use it, it could solve problems. Then, it happened to be, I called you. You were really excited. Mazi Jonathan immediately provided Marianne Hyder, the late Marianne Hyder, to interview me. So Marianne Hyder, after hearing this story, we became so friends. We talked to each other for more than 50 times, and until she died. I'm the only one too who can tell you Biafrans the story about Marianne and who was Marianne and how she died. I didn't know who killed her, but I know what led to her death. So that on the side. So then, what you did, Jonathan, Mazi Jonathan, was a little disappointing to me, because I thought that my story was going to be researched and documented, and probably Biafrans will be calling me here and there, journalists or whatever will call me. So I didn't know. By the time you made me tell my story, I finally found that I was talking to the whole world. When I got off that long, you gave me almost an hour and a half to talk, which was great. But I was, when I found out how you did it, I was so worried that I said, oh my God, it has lost its strategic value, the call I made. So the whole world had it just like a story. But it could have been the beginning where Biafrans, those are the head office, including you, could have called me back again and researched, and it could have solved a lot of problems. This story could have made Obasanjo himself come out and hide he will make him get diuretic. He will give him a stomach attack, because he would not wonder why you were going to be giving him names that are specific. The areas he inside him now, he doesn't know, anybody knows. And what makes Obasanjo, the Nigerians, Yoruba and Hausa people in Nigerian command, they thought that Obasanjo was a wizard. Up to today, Babangida, Gowon, and all Nigerian hierarchy, they still think that Obasanjo is a demigod. That's why he can buzz into anybody, and and they give him, the person will give him audience. Why? Obasanjo was the one that won the civil war for Nigeria. And how did he do it? He had a Boni man. His name is Emmanuel Alaputa. Write it down. Emmanuel Alaputa. Other than, remember, the man who interviewed me was Lieutenant Albert, Igbo-speaking intelligence officer. He was a brigade intelligence officer. But there was another brigade intelligence officer during that time, the one at the brigade, 12 brigade, probably on a hierarchy more dependent than that the military Lieutenant Albert. That was Emmanuel Alaputa. Emmanuel Alaputa was well educated from Bonny ancestry. He had a secondary school, technical school, within that perimeter around Azumili going towards Aba. It's the place, Akreka area. That's where he had. So during the Civil War, people from Azumili, Ohambele, Oboya, Akwete, they ran away. We all ran away. My father ran away, but they were not, many of them didn't die or they weren't even captured because they all ran away. And how did we run? Well, they shelled from Afam, far away. And all the shells were passing through my village, passing through Boya, shelled Azumili. And everybody packed up and ran. So, Emmanuel Alaputa was living in my father's house. And you see, I'm telling you raw story. And I like it to call me, if you, when you want to research it again, to keep in communication with me. Emmanuel Alaputa was, so I know him and I know my story and I know where he lived. He lived in my father's house. What is he doing in my father's house? In Nadede compound. He was a boyfriend to my auntie. So we were just, he was like, uncle. I was a boy. I was in secondary school anyway at the time. I knew him. So he was the one that saved my life. Up to now, I never met him again. Even my own auntie, she knew how to keep secret. When she saw me after the Civil War, she never told me. She was just looking at me. She didn't want me. It was a top secret in the tour in there within them. So how did I? It was a Laputa Emmanuel uncle. It's not my uncle, but that's what I thought it was. I mean, I could call him. He was the one. When my story left from Lieutenant Albert, it went, of course, he would not go to Obasanjo until Alaputa saw it. He was the brigade civilian intelligence officer. So he went to work immediately. After giving that my information, my name, to Obasanjo, which this story, I cannot tell you I know what he did, but I know that he was the one who took my information to the brigade. So how was I saved? Because of my auntie. He had gone to my auntie and said, hey, Ntabu, that's my name. You know that your brother had been captured. And my auntie went to work. You know whatever a woman can do, my auntie is so tough. Well, any woman can do it. She was his woman, we call them, in Igbo land, not too many, my girlfriend, her husband. And so that was what kept me alive. Then, on that day, they asked me to go take a bath, get that bucket of water. That was when I saw the daylight. I walked up to a little hill. There's a little hill from that cottage hospital. I went there. That is Obey here, Azumini Opobo Junction. That is the beginning of Akwa Ibom. So that junction was a Mami market. So maybe I thought they gave me money. I can't remember all these because they were not so important to me. But I went there. I believe they fed me. I ate there. And then the next thing I saw was a group of young men in Abada, well groomed and looking so healthy. And out of these men I saw was my classmate. When I was in class 1 and class 2 at Iheme Memorial Grammar School, Arundi Zog. We were in class 1A. And this guy is from Umuahia. The name will come out. Then he called me Ntana. That's what my classmates used to call me. My name was Ntana. Ntana, my name. Yes.
Okay. You know, if your program, your discussion is full of history. You understand? Historical records.
Huh?
I say your discussion.
What do you say?
I say your discussions, they filled up with historical records. And I don't think it's something that is that should be hurried over. You understand? So, can you permit? I will make up time. Me. I'll make up time. Honestly speaking, so that also.
I can't hear you very well.
I say what I'm saying. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. No, what I'm saying, can you just summarize so that I will make up time so that I'll bring you up originally for another, because you are filled up with history. You understand?
I just got the name of my classmate in my head. His name, Sylvester Okezie. I'm sorry, I'm talking slowly because of my health. His name, Sylvester Okezie. He walked up to me. He was scared, and I looked tattered, and I was scared. What is Sylvester Okezie doing? Sylvester Okezie was a major. I knew him when he was a captain in Biafran army. So what I'm trying to tell you is how Biafra was sold. 12 brigades, Biafran army located in Nenu, which I was also a part of 12 brigade. Their officers had surrendered to Obasanjo. All of them were wearing abada. Maybe you heard a story that Obasanjo had a load of soldiers he took to Lagos to Yakubu Gowon. My brother. Those are the people. So Sylvester started acting like, he was suspicious. We didn't even have 2 minutes conversation. But they were in that Mami market. And that was the last I saw them. Then I put it together. Remember, I was a soldier. All these young men, all dressed in Abada, were our soldiers who had surrendered. And then I started doing a research until I called some elderly, old soldiers. I knew it was last year or 2 years ago that I found out the name of the brigade commander, 12 div commander, 12 division, 12 div commander at Nenu. So that was, then I put it together. I said, Now, put it together in your head. Now you're going to see that how we were sold. And so on that very day was the day the war ended. Because they drove from Azumini Upobo Junction towards Aba. By the time they were getting to Mbasi, the news had reached Ojukwu. Ojukwu did not even know. Ojukwu did not know how the war ended. I am the only one who can tell you people, if you get all this from me, So what I wanted to, the juice in this story is that you guys should be in a haste to put this together and throw on the face of Obasanjo. So he is the one doing everything you're talking about. On the very day Yakubu Gowon came to Azumini 1 week after the war just ended. Think about it, 1 week. Yakubu Gowon came to visit Dr. Emuche. Within that 1 week, Asita came from where he was at Enugu. He was the one that took Yakubu Gowon there to Azumini. And where is Azumini? Azumini is that a known name in the world or anywhere? No. So many people who have played a game in Nigerian government, up to now, you and I are talking. So some have owned banks, some have turned into senator, so many of them have, Obasanjo has been paying the benefit, paying them, thanking them in many ways. Obasanjo had come there when, visited when Dr. Emuche's son, Chika, died. He came. Obasanjo came when Emuche's wife died. It was written everywhere, but people don't know. What is Obasanjo doing with Azumini even after the Civil War? And why did he go on? Who showed him the way to Azumini? It was Obasanjo. Gowon came to verify the truth about what he did, what Obasanjo did. And they thanked Emuche with one thing. They made the Cottage Hospital a place where they rehabilitated those children that were sent to Gabon. So Yakubu Gowon went to Gabon and brought them and made Dr. Emuche. They gave him the contract to take care of those kids. So all of you can put it together. And then they made Dr. Emuche the head of civil service in eastern Nigeria. Write all these things down, because if you miss any of them, then you're not getting it correctly. So they made him, anything I say, if you corroborate, they don't corroborate and they don't match, well, I must have made, I wouldn't say I made a mistake, because everything I'm telling you here, most of them are correct. So what's going on? Obasanjo is the key to installing anything you see that is done in eastern Nigeria and was confirmed. It was done by Obasanjo. Obasanjo is the one, through Dr. Emuche, he has given them so much that that a senator from that area was put in the Senate as a gift for what Dr. Emuche did for. Then, became an ambassador, super ambassador, diplomat, because of this. Also, these are all rewards.
Mazi Nadede. Can I repeat? Can I please solicit and beg you, so that I have
other people?
Yeah. Don't worry. I will call you. I will call you. I will call you. I'll call you at the background, so I will fix it.
Do it quickly, because I've been very sick, so you don't know what my age.
You are going nowhere. You will be there. No, I will call you. I will call you.
Your veterans are not bringing you information. They are old now. Some of them are dead. Look at me. I was 16 years old. Just had my school start, and look at my age now. So how about those people who were my commanders, who you could have gotten better information? They are dead.
Yes.
And if they are alive, they are incapacitated. So please, whatever you can get now, rush and get it. Thank you.
There were Mazi. We love you. You will still be here. I'll call you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. I know it has taken much time, but it is so worth it. So We must continue. We know Obasanjo, you see, is a green snake in a green grass. Many people don't understand him. And that is a Yoruba character anyway. They are the disease, whereas the Fulani is the death. They eat you deep, as if they love you. Look at how they sent Obasanjo to come, and I don't know, or is it to contract international markets or what, you know? And he's talking in our land that he used Igbos to fight Igbos, and they are clapping for him. Sometimes when you look at, anyway, people that are defeated in a war, it's not easy, honestly. That's why we shouldn't stop. You know, I love, let me tell you, I admire the Arabs. They are diehards. That's why they command respect all over the world. I admire them. They don't care who you are. They fight. You know, there is something, sorry, caller on WhatsApp. You have been waiting, sorry, but let me say this. There's something one man said, it's an Arab, in this Palestinian ongoing genocide committed against them. There's something he said. He said many Arabs, many of their people are wiped out, but they don't care. Many families are wiped out. He said, as the families, youths are being killed, he said, remember that we are encouraging our women to burn as many as we. So they are being replaced. I look at that word, it shocked me. What I'm telling you, just a few days ago, I watched it, that interview. The man said, they are killing us thinking that they will wipe us away, but we are, remember that we are replacing those dead ones. So it doesn't perturb us. I look at the audacity and the fearlessness. I say no. For us to achieve our goal, we need to be audacious in every way. I'm telling you, we need to be audacious and fearless in every way. Caller on WhatsApp, thank you for holding on. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Can you hear me?
The whole world is hearing you.
Okay, thank you, Mazi Jonathan. Biafra and lovers of freedom. My name is Mazi Bona. Mazi Jonathan, before I go on, I want to say this because I've been trying to call you on Signal. That's where I normally call you, but for quite some time I can't get you. Nah, but the thing will be saying that you have to receive my message first. I don't know why.
Really? Really? Let me check. I don't know, honest. That's why I was not getting any call. Okay, on Signal. Okay, I will check it, please. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes. Go on. Yes, go on.
We must continue. Why? Because I have looked around in everything that has been said, and kudos to our father, Nani, the veteran. To Biafra, you will see. He will join us and celebrate Biafra when you guys fought the war for us. My father is also a veteran, he's still alive, and I pray, my prayer for him and each and every one of you, that all of you that have begun this fight for us to finish must be alive to witness this great nation called Biafra, which you died for, and we are starved, and some of you suffered pressure and died because of this great Biafra. And we are telling you that we are children are the reincarnation, and here we stand. We can never deter in any means. They will bring all their sleeper cell inside us, but we remain IPOB. Mazi, what we are saying is that Igbo, in Biafra land in general, the only saving grace we have today is this struggle IPOB movement headed by this present leadership. Our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is the supreme leader, no doubt. But in his absence, this leadership has shown resolute that they are master of strategy, because every institution in our Igbo looking at has all failed our people. Every institution that is supposed to protect the interests of the Igbos or project the cultures of the Igbos has failed us. So the only hope we have here is this movement, and this is why our people must throw away useless ego and pride and support this movement. Throw away fear. You don't have to be ashamed of yourself for being who you are. It's Chukwu Abiyama that made you a Biafran. You can't question Chukwu Abiyama why you are a Biafran, so you must be proud of your heritage and your culture. So, like what you said, Mazi, regarding Obasanjo, look at Obasanjo, the Obasanjo that even in the presence of Igbo political jobbers there, telling them that he used Igbos to kill Igbos, he used Igbos to fight Igbos. And this is a very sensitive thing. There are certain things our people take for granted, and they are there clapping. None of them could be bold enough. Since Obasanjo was so bold to say that kind of thing to a people in a public forum like that, none of them was able to ask him, Obasanjo, why is it that you are trying to save Igbos, but you didn't advise Gowon to respect the Aburi agreement? You didn't ask Gowon to respect the Aburi agreement that caused this whole crisis, this whole killing, this whole genocide against the Igbos. And that he went into war to kill our people to save us. But it's fine because most of them don't ask questions. They're only there for their families and their pocket, just like the idiot, the lunatic that is from Ben. They call himself, what's his name? Benjamin Carlo. Go to Ben today. An ancient kingdom, before Maya province, Ben has been there as a provincial head during the Biafran period. But go to that place today, the highest erosion that I can find in Igbo land and in Biafra land is in that place. These are my areas, our area. You happen to come from the same constituent from the area where I come from. We don't have anywhere to land to build again because the erosion has destroyed. And he's claiming he's the number 6 man in the country. But look at where he comes from. There is no road to bend. Erosion has steered the road in front and back. These people don't do nothing. And he's coming to tell us that the only man Chukwu has used to remember our dear Biafra land and our dear Abians at this interim time, that his first tenure will be his last tenure in office in Abia. If Biafra had to wait till 2027, let him come and chase us away from our land and impose his full animals that to come and govern us, or himself will come out, because that's what they do. As his deputy speaker in House of Rep, tomorrow he will come and contest for a governor of Abia State. This is the achievement. So our life are in their pocket, but to tell them that this generation of Biafra must continue to resist them. And our leader, Mazi Kanu, must be freed from the SS dungeon. They committed no crime. The Court of Appeal 2022, October 13th, has declared him retired and acquitted. This we must stand on, and our leader must be freed. His criminal gang, Mazi, I stand by the word you used. Say no to criminality in our land. There's no how they can link ESN to their criminal, because ESN are meant to be in the forest to fight the marauding Fulani herdsmen, which the evidence is clear, because today our people are displaying their proceeds, the bountiful proceeds they harvest from their farms. If not for ESN, how could it be possible that our bush between 2014 to 2012 were ravaged by Fulani herdsmen? People were killed, slaughtered. But today, our people can harvest in the midst of this thing who impose hunger in the land. Our people, coupled with the marginalization, the ancient marginalization in our land, our people still are eating from the proceeds they planted in their farms, courtesy of ESN, who has been in the bush, even in the rain. During this rainy season, they are there, mosquito, everything. They are suffering it, protecting our land. And one criminal before called the Benema will be associated with our name, a man who is killing and doing organ harvesting in every part of the land, working with the DSS or the security agencies. When they use you, they will dump you. This is where I say to our youth, you must be wise up, because these people don't love us. They never loved us. People who live with the war of genocide against you can never turn back to love you. Anything they are bringing to you, you must resist it. be it their healthcare system. Today they are bringing NDDC, come and fee form. All the states that fall inside Niger Delta, Abia State, Imo State, don't fill their form. Because anything they are collecting from your data as a Biafran, they are using it to track you to your homes and begin to eliminate you. This is their agenda, nothing more. Keep Biafrans so that they can inherit their land. Whatever you cannot inherit, destroy it. This is what they are doing. And we know their agenda and we stand to resist them because at the end, because they say the end always justify the means. Mazi, we must continue. I leave it there for you.
There were, Mazi. Thank you very much. There were. Caller on direct line. Mazi Chuku, can you hear me, please? Let us be making it brief because I'm winding down. Mazi Chuku, can you hear me?
Yes, Jonathan.
There were.
How are you?
Welcome to the program. I'm good.
Thank you very much. My name is Chukwimana, and I'm speaking from my location. Thank you once again, as always. I greet my leader and our leader, Mazi Namde Kano, the man who set up his platform to expose so many things that was hidden under the roof of heaven. I greet you once again. I greet our father and our brother Nigerian for the history he laid down this evening on this platform, which is very, very important. I want to start like this. Ndị Igbo say, akwụmbulu ugwu, akwa ebolu ugwu, ọwụ ugwu ka apịrị akwụ. Ndị Bekee say, first food, not be food. Second food, na proper foolish. Mazi Nnadi started from the time of Ujukwu, 1967 to 70. And I can put down some history on this platform this evening, which is very important. Some of us are old now. We are young during the wartime, but today we are old. Nobody knows where we left. But today, I want to start from Obasanjo. Obasanjo gathered some idiots and making caricature of Igbos as a race. And they're clapping hands for their enemy, laughing, making caricature of themselves. Obasanjo, whatever is going on in Biafra, in Igbo land, in the East, is made by this evil agent of the West. If you are a regular listener to Radio Biafra, you will agree that Obasanjo was agent of the white people, one of the agents to destroy Africa. That Obasanjo don't want Africa to see the light of the day. Obasanjo was one of the agents. Obasanjo, there was a time Obasanjo came to Anambra with Emmanuel Iwanyang, P2B, and they make a statement that Biafra died 53 years ago by Emmanuel Iwanyang and the P2B, just to make caricature of Igbo and say, hey. And people have over it. Some stupid idiots, they don't know what Obasanjo is working. Obasanjo is working very hard. You see this devil in Finland This agent in Finland that is working hard to destroy their people, Obasanjo was involved. Obasanjo was involved, fully involved, using him, promoting him, to use him to destroy IPOB. That is why this devil, autopilot, is working hard to make sure he kills himself. If he well knows that he will die, I think around April, either April or March this year, he made that statement in Anambra. If you told Emmanuel William that he will die in the next 10 years, he will not believe it. He will not. But look at between that time to few weeks or months now, he has left. That is how life is. The most important thing for a human being on this life is what have you done to your people when you are alive, so that when you left, you will be remembered. It is not how much money you get from your enemy as a saboteur. It's what matters. It is what have you done to contribute to your people when you are alive, so that when people remember you, they will say, yes, this man, he tried to support their people. But in the case what we are seeing today in Igbo land is terrible. After over 10 years, our leaders have spoke on this platform to open the brain of our people to know what is coming. Upon all this, Obasanjo and their group is going underground to make sure they bring division and destruction. Obasanjo forgot that he will die one day. Obasanjo, you forgot that we will die one day. Obasanjo, one day, not 2 days, one day you will die. And you will hand the year back over forever slave. Because that is your job. Obasanjo, you know that the Sudanese have done everything to Fulanization of Nigeria. There was a time Obasanjo made sure that Fulani is coming with the Fulanization of Nigeria. Immediately he made that statement. They sent Gumi to him. When Gumi meets him, after that day, they start to threaten him that they are going to probe $16 billion, which Obasanjo, when he was the president of Nigeria, the second time, he took $16 billion, promising that the electricity will be steady in Nigeria. That is going to make sure that electricity is in Nigeria. Obasanjo stole that money to their group. They are threatening him that they are going to probe him about that money. Since that time, you cannot hear anything from Obasanjo again about Fulanization. Obasanjo now is working against IPOB. By Simon Epa in Killers. All these criminals that is joining Simon Epa, you are killing yourself. You are destroying yourself. The whole world has seen that people from the East, many of them today, are working hard to be a saboteur, thinking that saboteur will give them money. Not to know you. You are killing yourself. You are killing your generation. You are killing your race. You are destroying yourself at the end. Nevertheless, our leader has set up this platform. If you are happy, if you are a human being, you join IPOB, you join DOS, you fight now when you are alive. Because there is a time you were no more alive. That is how life is. It is what you did when you are alive is important. It is not how much money you have. Because the money you have in the whole world is nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Somebody in the Bible has said it. Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Solomon. He examined all these things. He said vanity upon vanity equals to vanity. This man tested everything when he's alive. He married unmarried woman, 1,000 according to the Bible. That is the human being that have tested the whole world, the whole thing in the world, and find it that is nothing. And he left. Why can't people learn? Why can't people learn? Those people who claim they are man of God in Nigeria, they cannot teach you the truth. They are interested in following criminals in the name of politicians to enslave human beings on earth, to collect money and reach themselves. Evil people all over Nigeria. I can stop here so far today. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Will be your friend. You are a strong man. Thank you and God bless you.
Almost Biafra. Thank you very much. I'm winding down towards the end of the program. Caller on signal. Mazi. Emi Chris, I think. Can you hear me, Mazi? Mazi, Emi Chris, are you there? Mazi, Emi Chris, can you hear me? Yes. Oh, yeah.
A man telling how he destroyed the Igbos, and this man, if you calculate, you understand that among the whole people, the politicians of the Zoom, the only person that studied the Igbo man, I think is Obasanjo. They study us very, very well during his administration. Lastly, he used all Igbo people to work, and he boom all his administration. He became one of the best, among the best, the president that time. Igbo man was the Senate president. Sanyam Ngozi was the minister, and there's so many of them. You look what he said. I think that was in a where he went to in Igbo land and said all this rubbish. He said he used Igbo, but he the politicians saying those are politicians are there looking at, clapping for him.
They are clapping. Yeah.
Somebody will say, somebody will say, Igbo, when? I don't know the breed of these people, where did they come from? That's the question we begin to ask ourselves. If you're not a media, mother, just mother Brunia, if I call a caranya, you have to pay for everything you do. I don't understand where these people come from. Let me digress from that side. We, the Igbo people or Biafrans, for me, my own primary or understanding in our political understanding generally, I think I'll give only about 10% out of 100. I know about the political understanding. Somebody like a Kano, this man or somebody Kano who
Benjamin Carlo.
Evil. Yes, Benjamin Carlo. This man came out openly, talk rubbish, and by now our people still let him. If this man move around the Igbo land and campaign and go free, I will now know that we are not serious in what we are doing. Not because what we are doing as IPOB, but as Igbo people to change the problem we have. You know, sometimes I look upon our people the way we reason. I have a very substantive discussion with a prominent man here, Igbo man, in Italy here. And a very big discussion. After I have given him every instances, every examples, every reasons why we need to go. I was expecting a good talk from him. By the end, he turned back and said, no, we should join. I said, okay, thank you. I heard you. Is that mentally stubborn? Or is that the problem? I don't know where this kind of people came from. So Benjamin Ekano came out openly, said that Niawo number 69 of Nigeria, his brother, our leader, is still in detention and released ready. Oh, 60 man, ala damage ayandi Igbo, business in the Igbo, na Lagos. Oh, the 60 man are back for over since 1999 till today. Oh God, this man that took over now will be people begin to see at least a little light of government for the first time for over 26 years of their usual democracy. From Ojus Okalo to Theodore to this criminal Ibazu until now. And this man was proudly boasting that APC. I want to know whether our people in Aba or in Abia State are still wise enough. This will prove to me. In other words, because this man, any place in pure water, if we would never develop the character of Ijo Kute, actual politicians, common statement to make the wrong. In this country where we are, there's a guy called Savin. This guy, he make a very silly statement towards the south, and his character, they saw his character as looks like the character of a man called Mussolini that caused what between
Mussolini, the Second World War, he supported Hitler.
Yes,
he fought alongside Hitler.
Yes.
Mussolini.
So they saw his rhetoric seems to be that man own. That's why they don't want to vote him. Anybody they say no, this man is like Mussolini. We don't want to him. And he went down to south to campaign. Do you know that the people up there that didn't allow him to campaign? They will insult him. Go back. We don't need you here. And then with something, Mazi, let me just say this: there's something inside us that we IPOB will take in charge of it. IPOB must take in charge of this thing. The leadership are listening. Please. India na go be represent. Just for instance, the people who will stand up to campaign or come against this Benjamin Ekano, and he will group some people again. They will come out and say, no, we stand behind him. This will be a time will mark all of them. Like there's one of your brokers played today. You talked about where you talked about those trying to rig election in Hope Uzodimma's election period at Imo State. And if I believe that if something has happened to these people, I think any other upcoming people will take precaution. But here may happen here, here may happen. My brother, so listen, I used to say this thing that even if the so-called Jesus Christ or angel of heaven is coming down in Italy today, people will die because of this. People coming from America, there must be a plane crash. That even Pope, when I used to say it here, when Pope John Paul II came to Oba, do you know how many people that lost their life? I was not there. I couldn't go. I didn't go. I don't even want to go. People went there. People were suffocated. People got a accident on the road. A lot of people died. So, and what was the issue of freedom? That's what I meant. People now, whether it's them, whether through us or whether anyone, there are things you do. You always say it on your program here. There are things you do in order to save life. For we to save the land of Igbo, and when they get weapon. That's my point. That is my point. And lastly, let me say this. That things, this is a general advice to Biafrans, wherever you are listening. There's one character we have adopted for many years inside us. And this is time now we begin to look towards those characters. I've said it in Mazi's program, and I will repeat it here. For the past 30 or 40 years, our people has adopted the character of Awarawa. Awarawa can be good in materials like wares and other things, but Awarawa is not good for anything consumption. Awarawa, let me repeat it. Awarawa is not good for anything for consumption. It can be good in Rikibute Feke Aqua. Madam original one, you got fake bubata, or aqua, or like also, or like your fed. But for Yanni, really, this is how our people will be very, very careful. In Okwanambuka, Ibru, mother, they go get pass, and they man all pass at the home. Or tire motor, or here, you let you tea and a motor. Only can when the bridge job, when they got by and about one. Only than get us room into Kokanadi. These the things we will draw ourselves in on our nature, or na what do they call it, na relief market, or na araba. Behind the door, in a adulterated drink, hot drink, ne rest it to your people. They are not that's all getting making money. We will withdraw or retrace our steps from all this nonsense. It's causing untimely death in our land. Go to Igbo land on weekly basis. There's burial. Go to villages on weekly basis and burial. Go to town where you're living on weekly basis. You see posters of dead people, young boys at the age of 40, 50, 60. People die, kidney disease. Cause of adulterated Mandinera adulterated on quarter. Ibuten quarter, you will chemical by Galime, Butena wooden quarter, Ushishunku, you will make it, will make drink. We will retrace ourselves, and the leadership will look into this thing. Anybody we see, because now nobody is in charge of Igbo except IPOB. Our leadership will look into it. Any person caught producing adulterated drink to sell even outside the Igbo must dealt with. This has caused a lot of death. Let us begin to go and now go 1 year first, because what our people have went into is very, very dangerous. I can't go home now. I decided to drink even pure water. Somebody will use another person's label pure water, produce water without even filtering the water. This is not life. We have to change toward this. And this is my counsel to our people. Thank you, Mazi, and God bless you.
There were Mazi. Let me start by, I will no more take a calls, please. I've stayed long here, please. Let me start my closing remarks by addressing what our brother said about adoptions. We should understand that the government controls the lives of people, the actions of people through the law. And as Mazi said, we have no government in our land. It's selective about payments, taking money from us. That is in our land. That is the only thing. Others, they relegate our land into dog eats dog. Let me tell you something. A people defeated in a war, deceived into accepting no victim, no vanquish, diplomatically relegated into hustling, individual hustling, is a dying race. People don't understand. When they put everybody, every Biafran, every Igbo man was relegated into personal survival. Are you hearing me? Personal survival is very dangerous. You can sell your brother to survive. You can kill your brother to survive. You can eat your brother to survive. That is what they sentence us. For your information, there is no way a human being can be good collectively by appealing to people's conscience. It is practically impossible to live. Okay, I appeal to your conscience to act well. Stop producing fake products, for example, adulterated products. Stop doing this. You appeal to people's conscience. It is, I say, it is practically impossible. That is why I continue maintaining that religion cannot make somebody better person or turn people into better people. No, it's impossible. Do you know what makes the people to behave is law? Application and implementation of law. Because what governs a human being is the stomach, the needs, the human needs. You must satisfy your need through one way or the other. You cannot be advising a hungry man that never eat from beginning to say, don't steal, don't do this, be a good person. He will be listening to you. Maybe watching you, you think he's with you. His brain is not there because he's hungry. He has his personal need. There is no way, he must find a way to eat. If it goes if it is to turn, maybe go and collect water, flood water, and turn it to this thing, pure water. Label it as pure water in order to make money to eat, to feed. He will do it. That is the thing. The only thing that can regulate human character is law and implementation of law. Where you have, you have on the roads, you write signs. Maybe highest is 80 kilometers per hour in this road, for example. And it's a nice road. You didn't put no camera. No police to check anything with radar, nothing. You want the people to adhere to that. You will see somebody that is carrying his child to school is late. And there is no hold up, the road is clear. He will go above it, you know that there is nothing to catch him. You cannot appeal to his conscience because he has to satisfy his need first. That immediate need. So he will break the law. But what controls the people? What will control him? Whether he has for example, whether he has sick person in his car, whether he has his child that is going late in the school, whether he's going late at work, he will remember the fine. He know that, oh, there is radar that will catch him if he speeds more than 80 kilometers per hour. The radar will catch him and he will pay fine. He don't want to pay fine, $200 fine, 300,000 naira fine. He don't want to pay. He don't want to lose it. So he better go late to where he's going now, apologize, make it up, because he know that there is big eye watching him. Are you hearing me? So the only way Nigeria, what is happening in our land is highly planned. Is planned right from 1970. They know that a time will come when the result will be what we are seeing today, because population will be increasing. The population of Biafrans in 1970 is not the same today. It has quadrupled, if not a centupled, or even, octupled, 8 folds to 10 folds. They know that a time will come, people will be going to school because we have talents. We produce talents. We go to school, no job. People will end. When you see some of these people that are doing committing different crimes in our land, many of them are brainy. They are brains, but there is nothing in front of them. I'm not giving them excuse, but I'm telling you the generality of issues. That is it. I'm not condoning them. I'm not covering them. But that is the reality. You are advising somebody that is hungry from morning till night, he never eat, and you are telling him to be a good citizen, he want to do anything to get food to eat. That is it. They sentence us into individual hustling. No government aid. You cannot, in our land today, you hardly be a victim of something. You go and solicit through the police. Before you know, you are afraid. You can be a victim. The person the culprit, you take to police or you sue to police, it can turn around and have contact more than you. And they put allegation on you and you become a victim. That is what is happening in our land. There is virtually no government. Virtually. So, that is why we are doing what we are doing. Trying. Nigeria is a failed state. The North, you see, the North, mostly, they are being controlled by their Hizbah police, Sharia law. Is what is active, highly active. They organize themselves. They are living in a country outside Nigeria, in the North. They organize themselves and have Sharia police, Hizbah law. Hizbah police, they call them. That is what is making peace implementing law and order there. Not mostly Nigerian police, no. In our own land, nothing. So, he who has money, he who has contact, he who has power is the right person in our land. Just, they can plan and liquidate you. That is what is in our land. The only way our land will be good is if we get what we are looking for. Because Nigeria know that all these things are. Look at even Nigerian military killing our people anyhow. If they go and see, Nigerian military will be passing and see young men, maybe 3 or 4 young men that are maybe enjoying themselves, maybe sitting down drinking beer or playing football. They will kill all of them and go their way. So you see that these people, they don't want us to exist. They are annihilating us one after the other. They want this confusion, lack of law and order in our land. It favors Nigeria. So that we will always be in a state of disarray. And moreover, We don't have no ideology guiding us. That is why IPOB, we are saying that Biafra remains our religion. It's our ideology. I will treat ideology on Saturday. Common ideology. Do not miss it, please. Had it been we have an ideology, a common ideology that guides us, we can use it outside Nigeria. We can use it in order to control ourselves outside Nigerian government, like what the North are doing. Outside Nigerian federal governments, they are using Sharia, controlling themselves, keeping themselves together. Are you hearing me? In our land, nothing, no ideology. When you come to religion, everybody, we are more divided even in Christianity than any other thing. So who are you? What is it is now that we are introducing Biafra as our common ideology and religion. So that when before somebody do, you call him Mazi, it will touch his mind. You know that, oh, you are a comrade. So that is a common ideology, uniting us. That is what we are trying to groom in our lives, because our land was left without nothing. Nothing. I say nothing. They groom sabotage there. Any person that somebody can mess up, just owe you maybe 5,000 naira. Because you have a contact of a Nigerian military. You can call a Nigerian, your Hausa friend. You come and carry him, beat him up. Your brother. That is what is obtainable in our land today. Your neighbor. Your flat neighbor. You call a military. You go and bring your homopole as your friend. They come and beat him up. No law, no order, no nothing. No rule of law. They come and beat him up, collect his telephone, or if he don't have money, he start begging. They wound him. Before you know, they can carry him, throw him into prison. If he's lucky to get out. Unless, people come and pay the ordinary 5,000. This is what is happening in our land. And this Nigeria is enjoying it. The Nigerian government, the Fulani Caliphate. When I talk about Nigerian government, the Caliphate is enjoying it. They love it like that. That's it. So we must continue what we are doing. Obasanjo, I have been saying this right from time immemorial. The role Obasanjo played in decimating us, in Biafra, he is one of the brains behind no victor, no vanquish. He said, for him, don't worry, not only let us use diplomacy and lure these people into a trap that they will suffer forever. That is, Obasanjo, I've been saying this. He comes as if he loves you, that he loves your way. But he is the worst of worst. That is it. He is the worst of worst. I am telling you. If he's left with, Ndugu, they don't know anything. When it comes to all this, like Gawon. What did Gawon know? What did Gawon know? Look at Aburi Accord. He agreed on everything. If it's Obasanjo that went on that, for example, led on that delegation representing Gawon, he would have asked questions. He wouldn't have agreed everything. There would have been more debate. But Gawon didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. He's whatever being told, he took it. So Obasanjo is more evil and the worst, just like our brother said. When you listen to that clip, you start regret. See, you want to regret. You hate yourself. I used Igbos to fight Igbos. That is, I use Igbos to kill Igbos, and people are happy. Igbo, yeah. They rewarded saboteurs, people that Igbos that they used to kill us. They imposed them on us as our leader. That is what we are suffering today. It's the worst thing that happened, just like when Britain came to our land, the good people loved by people that the village chiefs and heads that represent our people, normally they kill all of them because they don't agree with the British. They represent the people. They kill all of them. Now they converted the evil people, both the adulterers, the killers in our land, that we are excommunicated from our, ostracized from our villages. It is them that Britain turned through the missionaries and say, you people, Jesus has forgiven you. They made them now heads of our villages and baptize them. Say, don't worry. These people that treated you bad, they are the evil people. You are now the good, as long as you believe. And they say, we believe. Because these were people that were ostracized from our villages. They committed crimes, so they were ostracized. So normally, naturally, they will do anything to revenge if they have opportunity. They will do anything to go against the villagers. They saw opportunity. White men just come, say, give them the easy way out. Come, you people, why are people not talking to you? Why are you living, being pursued, and you live only you? They say, no, I slept with my brother's wife, or I committed crime against the land. They say, what? You, what happened? No, in a fight, I went and started dragging land with my brother. I know it's his land, but I wanted to drag it. So I killed him with knife. So they ostracized me. They pushed me out. They said I should live here. You know that time we don't have prison. No prison. So the whole evil people. Now missionaries came and do the Makra and Kobe, say now, once you believe there is one man, that God born somebody in our village in Britain, in Europe, and if you believe, you will be changed. You will be like us. All of us will become friends. We are brothers. They say, what are we waiting for? We change. We believe. They do the Makara and Kobe. They start showing them how to wear tie and suit. And they made them warrant chiefs. All of a sudden, they made them chiefs of the villages. The villagers, they protested, say, how can these evil people be our leader? They killed many of them. That is what the evil that happened, evil of colonialism. People don't really understand what that is. Why when I'm talking about religion, it's not about a personal grievance. No. Religion they turn the people, evil people, using their power, colonial powers, they turn them into our representatives. The same way today, the Fulani, we are seeing people like our elder, Mazi Nadede. He have revealed it to him. Mazi, is it, they say, Mr. Onyemuche, that will become the Ohaneze Igbo chieftain. Because his father is a saboteur, direct. So they reward them. It's the same thing that happened to us during the coming of the British people, the colonial powers. They came and rewarded bad people and rewarded them, made them to become chiefs in our land today. That is the same thing. So the people that served the caliphate against their people, against Igbos, is them that are in charge in our land. That's why evil everywhere. Omar Sanda, Ike Wachiku, he fought against Igbos. He's Igbos. But all of a sudden, he was sent to represent Igbos in a confab, national confab. Don't you see that? An anti-Igbo person, somebody that fought against, just like what is the name of this man I called before? That was the governor, the administrator. Gowon made a Okpabi Aseka. If he's still alive, then he become Ohaneze Igbo chieftain to represent us, elder statesman. That is Aromenai double from Britain down to the caliphate. Aromenai. We are fighting for survival of our race. Because if we continue with Nigerian system, we are all gone. I'm telling you honestly, we will be all gone. That's it. So we are in a huge war. In a huge war. Therefore, we must continue. Biafra remains who we are. It remains our ideology. Biafra is our religion. We have no other religion except Biafra. If you never make Biafra your religion, know that it still remains. You are still on the outskirts. Are you hearing me? We must continue doing what we are doing until Biafra is restored. Thank you for listening. From me, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, from here, it is simply good evening. Biafra.